bottle. Ready, Refresh! Your ultimate game day hydration partner. Order now at ReadyRefresh.com.
ThriveWellInfusion.com, New York's premier infusion and injection center, saving lives drip by drip.
Welcome back as we wrap up the Nissan Mets pregame show prior to Game 4 of the National League Division Series. It's time for our player to bank on, sponsored by California Cryo Bank. Build your family with the #1 sperm bank in the United States. And tonight we bank on Francisco Lindor. Pitching matchup one final time. Jose Quintana gets the ball for the Mets, and it's Ranger Suarez for Philadelphia. That'll do it for the Nissan Mets pregame show. On the other side, we join Keith Red and the Hall of Fame radio voice of the New York Mets, Howie Rose, for lineups and first pitch. Mets and Phillies, Game 4, coming up right after this.
The Nissan Mets pregame show on Odyssey Mets Radio has been brought to you by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. And by Spectrum, a connection built for everywhere. That's life unlimited. That's Spectrum. Sloman's Home Security. The difference is human. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. Peerless Boilers and Pavilion Tankless Water Heaters. Visit peerlessboilers.com to find a dealer near you. Flag and Anthem. Real clothes for real life. Margaret Teets, Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. Laborers Local 731. Feel the power. 1-877-CARS for Kids. That's cars with a K to donate your car today. And by ELEC 825. Building our future.
Every fantasy football champion makes one defining move.
You are just a season-long fantasy football player. Don't overvalue wide receiver, cornerback. Seriously.
Fantasy Sports Radio can help you make that move.
Use your bench to improve your lineup. That's what your bench is for. This week is proving why that's the case.
Listen to the best analysts for lineup advice, trade questions, and roster moves. Make your move with Fantasy Sports Radio, Sirius XM 87, and the Sirius XM app.
While you're listening to this game on SiriusXM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 159.
SiriusXM NFL Radio is your home for the National Football League all year long on Channel 88 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Mets fans, this is Carlos Mendoza, and you're listening to Mets Baseball on SiriusXM.
Mets fans, this is David Stearns, and you're listening to Mets Baseball on SiriusXM.
It's 2024 Mets. It's 2024 Mets postseason baseball on Odyssey Mets Radio.
First pitch on the way, and high in the air to right field, pretty deep. Castellanos back at the track, at the wall, and it's gone! He hit it off the facing on the second deck, the Coca-Cola corner. Another opposite field home run for Pete Alonso.
Winker hits a high drive, right field, toward the pole. It is gone! Second deck shot, Jesse Winker.
0-2, here's the pitch. Swinging a liner to second, it's caught by Iglesias, flips to second, double play! They double off Schwarber, and that retires the side.
Slow windup, high kick, 0-2. Got him swinging, sweeper down and in. 7 shutty for Sean Manaea.
1-2 the count. Stanek sets, now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, put it in the books.
New York Mets baseball is brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Contact one for a great deal today. And by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. The Rothenberg Law Firm. InjuryLawyer.com. Casamigos Tequila. Brought to you by those who drink it. ThriveWell Infusion. The official IV sponsor of Odyssey Mets Radio. Visit ThriveWellInfusion.com. Bridgewater Acura on Route 22 in Bridgewater, New Jersey. Peerless Boilers and Pavilion tankless water heaters. Visit peerlessboilers.com to find a dealer near you. Gin and Juice, a premium seltzer, an official partner of the New York Mets. LifeVac, the original choking rescue suction device that saves lives. The New York Lottery. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. And by Berkeley College. Your potential is our promise.
From Citi Field in Flushing, Queens, welcome to New York Mets baseball. This afternoon, the Mets face the Philadelphia Phillies in Game 4 of the National League Division Series. The Mets lead the series 2-1. It's a best-of-5, and the Mets have a chance to do something today they have never done here at Citi Field since it opened in 2009, and that is celebrate a clinching of any sort. The starting pitchers today for the Phillies, left-hander Ranger Suarez, and for the Mets, left-hander Jose Quintana. Hi again, everyone. I'm Howie Rose along with Keith Radd, and so the Mets have a chance today to win, move on to the National League Championship Series against either the Padres or the Dodgers. The Padres lead that series 2-1, and so the Mets with an opportunity not only to do what we just described for the first time here, but even get a little time off potentially before starting the National League Championship Series on Sunday in California. But that's getting way ahead of ourselves. There is one to be played this afternoon and perhaps one on Friday night in Philadelphia. Our game time temperature is sponsored by Peerless Boilers and Pavilion Tankless Water Heaters. Go to peerlessboilers.com for a dealer near you. Clear sky, 68 degrees at game time as Daniel Murphy, a Mets playoff hero from 9 years ago, is set to throw out a ceremonial first pitch. We'll come back and look at the pitching matchup next on Odyssey Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
With over 30 stores to serve you, a rewards app that earns you free groceries, and a shop online service that delivers right to your door, what are you waiting for? Download the Food Bazaar Rewards app and get 10,000 bonus points after your first purchase. Visit foodbazaar.com.
In 2024, you get more at Ramsey Mazda. More selection and more savings. Like a new 2024 Mazda CX-5, starting at just $29,276. Ramsey Mazda is the proud recipient of the 2023 President's Club Award and the 2024 Cars.com Consumer Satisfaction Award. Visit RamseyMazda.com. That's RamseyMazda.com. Get more in a new Mazda from Ramsey Mazda. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda.
Unos 3 millones de dólares. ¿Qué te parece? You know you ready to play. Sounds grande, grande.
Play the New York Lottery's new Grande Scratch-Off games with prizes up to $3 million or a second chance to win one of 100 VIP trips to Billboard Latin Music Week in Miami. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
The family of Casamigos tequilas, Añejo, Blanco, Cristalino, Reposado, Mezcal, and introducing the new Casamigas Jalapeno. Casamigos tequila, brought to you by those who drink it. Remind you to enjoy today's game responsibly.
Well, back here at Citi Field, we're getting set for the Mets and the Phillies. Game 4 in the Best of 5 National League Division Series. The Salute to America is brought to you by the Ray Catena family of dealerships. Visit them at raycatena.com. The national anthem was performed beautifully today by Lisa de Guzman. Now, as far as the pitching is concerned, certainly for the Philadelphia Phillies, it's essentially Johnny Holstaff, Ranger Suarez, and anybody and anything behind him, although strong vibes from manager Rob Thompson that it would not be Zach Wheeler. Wheeler would quite possibly and probably start a potential Game 5 on full rest on Friday night. The Mets are in a somewhat different situation. Jose Quintana, Keith, was fabulous in Milwaukee, but basically with the fact that they got length yesterday from Anaya and the bullpen is essentially rested, Mets manager Carlos Mendoza can get pretty creative today.
Yeah, he has options, says Carlos Mendoza. He has kind of the regular idea bullpen options when it comes to Diaz and maybe a guy like Ryan Stanek who pitched last night, but he has options as far as relievers go. He also has a somewhat rested and healthy David Peterson, who has been a bit of a surprise coming on in relief. No spot really to get him a start in this series because it's only a 5-game set. So we may see David Peterson come out of the bullpen for the Mets. But for now, it's Jose Quintana. And as Howie mentioned, that start in Milwaukee, that clincher, that was, of course, as we all know now, the Pete Alonso game. But to get to that point, Jose Quintana was phenomenal. 6 scoreless innings, really went toe-to-toe with Tobias Myers of Milwaukee. So it wasn't as if he got all this early run support and just settled in and pitched. He was pitching in a nail-biter, Game 3 in Milwaukee, and he was coming up so clutch that even Carlos Mendoza said, I put him out there for one more inning, when maybe the book, the binder, the stats, the analytics said, don't do that. Well, he trusted his gut, trusted Quintana. Quintana got him 6 scoreless, and the Mets won the game. Can Quintana keep that up? He's actually seen this Phillies team for the second time in the playoffs. He saw these guys 2 years ago when they eventually went to the World Series and lost to Houston. He was pitching for St. Louis, and Quintana shut him down 4-5 in the third innings. Meanwhile, for Philadelphia, we know about all the playoff runs they've had the last 2 years. 2022 went to the World Series, 2023 NLCS. Ranger Suarez has been a big part of that. And he had a really amazing start to the year and not a great finish to the year. First 16 starts, pitched to a 1.83 ERA. His last 11, an ERA of 6.5. Crazy for Ranger Suarez, who's dealt with a little bit of a back issue this year. But in the playoffs, these 2 years of good runs for Philly, 9 games, 7 starts, he's been nails, 1.62 ERA. 2 lefties throw about 90 to 91, but are very tough when they are on. That's today's pitching matchup presented by Ridgewood Savings Bank, multiplying the good for over 100 years. Starting lineups, first pitch of Game 4 next on Odyssey Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
In 2024, you get more at Ramsey Mazda. More selection and more savings. Like a new 2024 Mazda CX-5, starting at just $29,276. Ramsey Mazda is the proud recipient of the 2023 President's Club Award and the 2024 Cars.com Consumer Satisfaction Award. Visit RamseyMazda.com. That's RamseyMazda.com. Get more in a new Mazda from Ramsey Mazda. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda.
Looking for Michelin tires at the guaranteed lowest price? Get to Town Fair Tire for Michelin's Cross Climate tires, offering a design that delivers an exceptional level of long-lasting performance throughout the tire's lifespan. Plus, Town Fair gives you more free services than anywhere else. For the guaranteed lowest price and your best deal on Michelin Cross Climate tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. And I mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Diving for that grounder got you grounded? Oof. We've got specialists for that. Coaching Little League leave you in big league pain? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has a specialized expertise, extensive training from the nation's best programs, and years of experience so you can feel better, faster. Long Island's premier orthopedic group with offices open 7 days a week. Orland & Cohen is now in Kew Gardens, too. Visit OrlandCohen.com.
Looking for a replacement window?
Get the Anderson 400 Series double-hung window installed for you by Riverhead Building Supply.
Anderson is the #1 brand for window replacement.
Visit a Riverhead Building Supply showroom or rbscorp.com today.
If you think the baseball world is competitive, try the professional job market. But there is a way to give yourself an advantage. Berkeley College. Whether you're just starting or looking to advance, Berkeley gives you maximum flexibility, close personal attention, and exceptional support through graduation and beyond, with tutoring, career services, and more to help you stand out. At Berkeley College, your potential is our promise. Learn more at berkeleycollege.edu.
You never have to worry about thinking too big because you have a reliable connection that puts everything within reach. A connection to education, to family and friends, and most of all, to opportunity. That's life unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Back at Citi Field, Game 4 of the National League Division Series. Mets lead the Phillies 2-1, have a chance to clinch with a win today. Today's starting lineups are sponsored by Ramsey Mazda. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda for the Phillies. Managed by Rob Thompson. The designated hitter Kyle Schwarber leads off. Trey Turner, the shortstop, bats second. Bryce Harper hits third, plays first base. The cleanup hitter, that is right fielder Nick Castellanos. Alec Bohm batting fifth. He's at third base. The catcher, JT Realmuto, bats sixth. Bryson Stott, the lefty, in there against lefty Jose Quintana. He's batting seventh, playing second. Righty Weston Wilson, the lefty left fielder, bats eighth. And another lefty in there, Brandon Marsh, the center fielder, batting ninth. So Rob Thompson not really playing the left-right splits, just going to get Stott and Marsh in there. Phillies need some offense. On the mound for Philly, Ranger Suarez, 27 starts this year. He was 12-8 with a 3.46 earned run average. Again, a sinker at 91. Really, really good changeup from Ranger. Now for the New York Mets, Francisco Lindor leading off. He's at shortstop. Third baseman Mark Vientos bats second. Brandon Nimmo is in left field hitting third. Pete Alonso bats fourth, plays first base. Second baseman Jose Iglesias slots in fifth. JD Martinez gets the start tonight as the designated hitter, batting sixth. Starling Marte is celebrating his 36th birthday. He's in right field, batting seventh. Tyrone Taylor in center field, batting eighth. And the catcher, Francisco Alvarez, batting ninth. Jose Quintana on the mound. The Met left-hander was 10-10 over 31 starts, a 3.75 ERA. Just right around his lifetime 3.74 ERA. This is year 13 for Jose Quintana. Today's uniforms brought to you by Flag and Anthem. Real clothes for real life. Mets once again wearing their best. They are in the pinstripe uniforms today, with the blue pinstripe up and down the white jersey. Mets written in blue script across the chest, trimmed in orange. The blue hats with the interlocking orange NY. Meanwhile, for Philadelphia, the gray top, gray pants, red socks, and helmets with the white bubbly P. Phillies across the chest in red, and the two eyes dotted with a blue star on that Philadelphia uniform. When it's game time, it's Tully time. The first pitch is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew during today's game. This place is just as loud
as we wait for the go-ahead, and we just have received it from the network stooge, so we're good to go as Quintana staring straight in at Alvarez, facing Schwarber. And Quintana with a right leg kick delivers the first pitch of the game. It's in for a called strike, the fastball, 0-1. Schwarber 2 for 12 in the series with a home run, which he delivered in the very first game. And the Mets have done a really good job in terms of, for the most part, neutralizing him. The 0-1 on the way, a breaking ball outside, and the count 1-1 strike. And yet Schwarber, who struck out 197 times this year, third most in the National League, he's only punched out 3 times in 14 plate appearances. For him, that's pretty good. They play him to pull in the outfield, lefty against lefty, and the 1-1 on the way. Foul back to the screen, a fastball, and it is 1-2. Quintana allowed lefties to hit 24 points higher against him than the righties did, and Schwarber hit 300 against lefties this year, way above his career norm. Fans are up and waving their towels. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing on a chopper, slowly hit up the first baseline, but it kicks foul. And it remains 1-2 on Kyle Schwarber. Turner on deck, Harper to follow. Quintana 1-2 during the regular season against Philadelphia with a 3.53 earned run average, but over his last 7 starts, he was outstanding, including the one in Milwaukee, a 0.64 ERA in that stretch. Now the 1-2 pitch. Swung in and missed, strike three. Got him with a slurve and had Schwarber badly fooled and way out in front. So 1 up, 1 down. And it'll bring up Trey Turner. And the Mets defensive alignment is sponsored by Orland & Cohen Orthopedic Group. Experiencing orthopedic pain? Well, they've got specialists for that. Alonso at first, Iglesias at second, Lindor at short, Vientos at third. Turner 3 out of 11 in the series. Right-hand batter, Quintana deals, and a fastball high, ball 1. Turner 7 out of 21 in his career against Quintana. Nimmo, Taylor, Marte left to right in the outfield. Alvarez catching Quintana, and Jose's 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss at a dandy curve. And the count 1-1. He'll use that, and he'll use a very effective changeup to neutralize the righties, and that's why they had such a relatively low batting average against Quintana, the right-hand hitters. Now the 1-1. Fastball, that's in for a called strike. And Quintana ahead here. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and it doesn't take much more than that to get the fans up and waving the orange towels. They're around towards right in the infield against Turner. A 1-2 pitch. Low and away with that changeup. And the count 2-2. How far away? Well, he threw a strike in the left-handed batter's box. Essentially, that's what Alvarez wanted. He was set up away, and they were hoping to make Turner go after a bad ball. They did not. And now the count 2-2. So Quintana with a right leg kick deals and missed low and away with a changeup. 3-2. Turner's a guy who can steal a base, so he's one that you would always prefer to keep off there, especially with Harper on deck. Quintana ready. Now the payoff pitch. Swinging a high fly ball to shallow right. Marte settling under it, and Starling makes the one-hand catch. 2 men away. So Quintana has already delivered the first strikeout of the game, sponsored by Berkeley College. Take a swing at your future with one of their certificate of degree programs. Learn more at berkeleycollege.edu. And now here is Bryce Harper. Well, Harper yesterday, when Sean Manaea was at a crossroads, and so was Carlos Mendoza in that 6th inning after Manaea walked the first 2. Mets were leading 2-0 at the time. Carlos let Manaea continue, and he struck out Harper. First pitch from Quintana, a little dribbler foul to the backstop. It's 0-1. Harper went 1 for 4. He did have an RBI single in the 8th inning, but things were getting a little bit tight yesterday. He is 4 for 16 with a homer in his career against Quintana. 2 out, nobody on, just getting started. A little cooler and breezier than it was yesterday. Nothing brisk as far as the wind. Flags actually blowing across from left to right, maybe even angling out towards right. And the 0-1 fastball is inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. We saw some balls hit yesterday in the first couple of innings that off the bat seemed sure to leave the ballpark, but they did not. It really wasn't wind related. 1-1 the count. Quintana kicks and deals. Harper swings and fouls it off to the left and out of play. And the count 1-2 as that one settles into the upper deck in short, or the second deck, pardon me, in short left field. Mets did hit a couple of home runs yesterday, but it was a little harder to get one out than it is under midsummer, warmer and more humid conditions. 1-2. Quintana kicks and deals. Breaking ball low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nick Castellanos, a right-hand hitter, is on deck. Outfield straight up. Now the 2-2 to Harper. Swing on a pop-up outside third, between home and third, a foul ball, and that settles into the seats right next to the third base dugout. Jose Quintana was healthy and essentially effective all year. He made 31 starts. When you look at the fact that Severino, Manaea, Quintana all made 30 or more starts, that's something most people would not have expected when the season began. Here's the 2-2 to Harper. Check swing, did he go? The pitch in the dirty. Went around, strike 3. Punched out by third base up John Tumpane, and that retires the side. Nothing across. 2 strikeouts for Quintana. Middle of the first inning. The Phillies nothing, and the Mets coming up on Odyssey. Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Let's go Mets!
The Nissan Rogue with available Google built-in helps you make the most of your drive. Take care of the small stuff, like,
hey Google, cool down my car.
And,
hey Google, turn on the dog feeder.
Or change up your adventure.
Hey Google, navigate me to the nearest music venue.
Handle your drive like a pro.
Experience the ultimate connection in the new 2024 Nissan Rogue. Now Nissan offers 6.
Cheers, baseball fans. What a playoffs we have had so far. Every single game has been absolutely awesome to listen to and to hang out with all of you here in the chat. Please take a second to exit out of that chat and hit that thumbs up button and share this link out. That is the best way to get more baseball fans here in the chat. Please hit that thumbs up. We really appreciate it. And let's bring some more people in here. Send this out to the social media boards. Send it out to your friends. Let's have some fun and let's bring more people here to the chat to cheer for your team. Good luck to whatever team it is that you're cheering for. We'll see you guys back in the chat.
Memorable with gin and juice and cheers to a victory. Serving contractors, builders, and homeowners in the tri-state area since 1987, Brooklyn Window & Door is New York City's largest stocking dealer of quality Andersen window and doors. The professionals at Brooklyn Window & Door will help solve any of your window replacement needs or applications. Visit Brooklyn Window & Door's award-winning showroom to see the complete Andersen product line, including the 400, 100, A&E series. Andersen, built, backed, and serviced like no other window. Visit Brooklyn Window & Door at 1889 McDonald Avenue or call 718-WINDOWS.
Well, the Phillies went down in order in the top of the first inning, and the Mets will bat against Ranger Suarez as we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. Check swing by Bryce Harper, who was punched out by third base up John Tumpane, which ended that top of the first. Harper stayed at home plate for an extra moment or two, probably in disbelief that the call went against him, but when we looked at it between half innings, it certainly appeared to be a justifiable call on the part of Tumpane, who took the appeal at third, with James Hoy, the crew chief, the home plate umpire. And the umpire's lineup brought to you by RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. Hoy has the play. Carlos Torres at first, Andy Fletcher at second, John Tumpane at third. Rob Drake took ill or injured yesterday, and so Tumpane has replaced him on the crew. Edwin Moscoso on the left field line, Doug Eddings on the right field line. Francisco Lindor leads off. Suarez throws a fastball over the outside corner for a called strike, 0-1. Francisco 5 out of 22 in the postseason, 3 for 13 in this series. A switch hitter, batting right-handed, and Suarez delivers in a foul straight back out of play. And quickly it's 0-2 on Lindor with Vientos and Nimmo to follow. So Suarez was 12-8, nice numbers on the year, but it really was just about two different seasons for him. He was an all-star, the 0-2 on the way, breaking ball low, 1-2, but his back acted up around mid-season, and he missed a month. He was an all-star to be sure, but did not participate in the game. Wound up going on the IL. His first half numbers were tremendous. The 1-2 curve in the dirt, 2-2. He was 10-2 with a 2.27 ERA over his first 17 starts. But in his final 10, beginning on July 1st, and shortly thereafter he went on the IL, 2-6 with a 6.04. The 2-2, swing and a miss, strike three. Got him with a curveball. And Lindor down on strikes. So one up, one down, and Mark Vientos coming up.
So similar, these two. Quintana, Suarez. Quintana's just been doing this for twice as long as Suarez has. We're going to see a lot of really good hitters look really silly at some points on 90 and 78-mile-an-hour curves, as we've seen so far on both sides.
And two other things about Suarez we'll tell you about after this first pitch to Vientos, which is pulled foul over by the Phillies dugout. The count 0-1. First off, Suarez is a tremendous defender. He's quick, he's agile, he pitches like he's a middle infielder, and he also has a great pickoff move to first. The 0-1 fastball up and into Vientos, so any base runner, and believe me, this is no mystery, they go over this in the meetings, and they've seen Suarez before, of course, but you have to be very well aware of what Suarez can do if you're a runner at first, especially. The 1-1 to Vientos fouled straight back and out of play, and the count 1-2. Mark, who had a good year against lefties during the regular season, 5 for 6 with 2 homers and a double against left-handers here in the postseason. No score, 1 out, nobody on last of the first. The 1-2 pitch, fastball low and away, 2-2. Vientos is 3 out of 15 in his career against Suarez, who is 4-3 lifetime against New York. 29-year-old out of Venezuela. And Vientos calls time. It's been a little while now since Suarez pitched. Total of 12 days since September 27th, when he only lasted 2 innings in Washington, gave up 7 hits and 6 runs. 2-2 pitch. Vientos lines it to left center. That's pretty deep. Headed towards the wall. It's in for a hit. One hops the wall. Played by Marsh. Vientos on his way to second. The throw, the hit for a slide. He's safe. A double for Mark Vientos. And this kid continues to rake.
Rake is absolutely right. Nobody's having a better postseason from start to where we are now, numbers-wise, than Mark Vientos, who as soon as he came up this year and then went down and then came up and then went down, as soon as he was back, he settled in right away. Something has clicked for Vientos this year, and even in the postseason it's clicked and it's gotten better.
Well, Brandon Nimmo will be the batter, and he'd certainly like to do a little better against Suarez than he has in the past. Nimmo generally hits lefties pretty well, but Suarez has been a mystery. Nimmo fouls the first pitch, sinker straight down, 0-1. Brandon just 3 for 25 against Ranger Suarez. Nimmo 7 out of 23 this postseason with a homer and 4 RBIs. He's 4 for 11 in this series, and he's got a man in scoring position with 1 out, a slow man, Vientos at second. The 0-1 check swing, the pitch taken down and in. On appeal to third, John Tumpain said he did not swing. And that evens the count, 1-1 on Nimmo with Pete Alonso on deck. Early in the year, Suarez had a streak of 32 scoreless innings. Here's the 1-1. Nimmo takes breaking ball low and away, ball 2. Well, yep, this crowd can be loud and hostile too, just like they are in Philadelphia. And the Phillies know their season is on the line. If they are the least bit fragile, these fans will sense it, and the Mets will try to take advantage. The outfield straight away against Nimmo. Bohm, the third baseman, is off the line and even with a bag. The 2-1 pitch is outside, ball 3. Suarez generally has pretty good control, 41 walks in 150 and 2/3 innings. But now he's behind Nimmo, 3-1. Vientos walks his lead off of second. Harper deep at first. Here's the pitch. In tight, ball 4. He missed with a fastball. And the Mets have runners at first and second, nobody out. And Pete Alonso will be next. Now, as this is an elimination game for the Philadelphia Phillies, be sure that Rob Thompson will have a very short leash for Suarez. Obviously, nobody throwing yet, just 3 batters into the game. But if the Mets do any early business here, it would not at all be surprising to see somebody get up quickly. So here is Alonso. First pitch, and Pete takes a breaking ball low. So Nimmo drew the first Mets walk of the game. Brought to you by Total Orthopedics, the experts at getting back to being you. And now Alonso trying to take advantage. His power lately has been the other way. He's hit a lot of home runs to the opposite field. The 1-0, down the middle, a fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Alonso, in the last 37 games, has hit 5 opposite field home runs, including 3 in the postseason. He only hit 2 of those in the first 131 games. The 1-1 in tight with a fastball, ball 2. Jose Iglesias, a right-hand hitter, on deck. So Suarez now has thrown 18 pitches, 10 of them out of the strike zone. Suarez sets the 2-1. That's in for a called strike, a fastball on the outer half. It's a sinker at 92 miles an hour, and that is a big pitch for Suarez, because when he's getting that sinker to work, he gets a lot of ground balls, and that's just what he's looking for here from Alonso. 2-2 the count. Now the pitch. Swing and a foul, straight back. Pete hits into a lot of double plays, but lately, he hasn't exactly been locked in because, he is 4 for 19 in the postseason. And 3 of those 4 hits have been home runs. They may not be exactly locked in, but he's been better. Now the 2-2 in the dirt. Nice block by Real Muto. And it's 3-2. And you certainly don't expect the Mets to help Suarez out here and potentially send the runners, particularly with Vientos, a very slow man at second. Nimmo much faster as the trail man at first. So 3-2 to Alonso. And the crowd now is Suarez apparently was having a little trouble hearing the pitch come, and the fans start to make some noise, and time called, and I believe that is on Pete.
Didn't see James Hoy point, but I think
he motioned towards Pete.
Okay.
It was not a vigorous point, like that's his. Because I don't think he had taken it on 2-2. That was the umpire James Hoy's decision. And now it's 3-2. Suarez sets. Here's the pitch. Swing on a bouncer, foul down the third base line. So, yeah, it's important that the Mets are making Suarez work here. But it's not like the Phillies have any designs that he's got to go 5 or 6 innings. There's nobody throwing yet, just 3 batters, and now Alonso being the 4th in. But it won't take much. Suarez to the belt. Here's the pitch. Swing on a slow hit, grounded to third. Charged by Bohm. Gloves it, reaches for the runner, misses, throws to first. Just in time to get Alonso. They may take a look at this. The runners move up. 2 men away. Bohm had reached to try to tag Vientos crossing over, and he missed the tag, so Vientos went to third, Nimmo to second. Tell you what, to the naked eye, it looked like Alonso might have beaten this, and the Mets, I believe, are going to challenge.
Yeah, I thought so too, as far as just bang bang at first. I thought he was safe, and now the Mets do too, so they've asked for a challenge.
To play at first base.
Well, I just saw one angle that's not as conclusive as this next one should be.
I think
he's safe.
He's in there.
I think the Mets are going to have the bases loaded here.
He beat that out. Good on Alonso. Again, he's been feeling so good, driving balls the other way. He just gets beat off balance on a breaking ball. He's way out in front, hits the weakest of weak contacts toward third, but he put his head down, and he beat it out. It sulked, not that he would, but he put his head down, and what looks like the Mets are going to have the bases loaded once this call verdict comes in, and here we go.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is safe. New York has 2 remaining challenges.
So that should be an infield single for Alonso. It'll load the bases. And where Bohm lost the play, looking at a replay, was not only trying to reach to get a tag on Vientos crossing over, he never really had control of the ball when he was trying to tag Mark. The ball rolled up towards the edge of his glove, and that took him a little extra time to get a grip on it. And by the time he got the throw to first, it was too late. Here's Iglesias' first pitch, swung on and missed a curve. 0-1. So it's Vientos at third, Nimmo at second, Alonso at first. The Phillies are back up the middle, but they are in tight at the corners, even with the bags even a little closer. The 0-1. Iglesias swings and misses at a changeup, and it's 0-2. And Iglesias in his career 6 for 8 against Ranger Suarez. So no score, but the Mets threatening, bases loaded, 1 out. But the Mets have some more 0-2 magic in them. Here's the pitch. Not there. It swung on and missed. Strike 3. Got him with a curve. And after the Phillies saw a call go against them, which loaded the bases and left Suarez with no room for error, and with this team in a somewhat fragile state, he comes back on 3 pitches to strike out Jose Iglesias, who had been 6 for 8 against him.
And we've seen Jose enough at this point now to know that very rarely does he get as overzealous as he did in that at bat. I mean, he's a guy that likes to fight with 2 strikes. But he got beat badly on a breaking ball in the dirt.
Well, here's J.D. Martinez. First pitch, popped up foul. Outside first. Harper over for a look, but it'll settle into the seats. And the count 0-1 on Martinez, who is just 6 for his last 53, even though he's 3 for 10 in the postseason. He has not homered since August the 30th against the White Sox in Chicago, just before he went on paternity leave. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball in the dirt. Nice stop by Real Muto, and the count 1-1. And again, with Vientos not a fast man at third, he will take less liberties on balls that roll away from Real Muto than some others might. Mike Sarbaugh, the third base coach, is stationed about halfway down the line between home and third, set way back onto the postseason logo. 1-1 to Martinez, the pitch. Swing and a miss. He chased the curve. And so suddenly the Mets, who are in a great situation with the bases loaded, have been over-anxious.
Over-anxious again against a guy who throws 90 with a 78-mile-an-hour curve. And when he's on, it's nasty. He makes these guys look silly sometimes.
1-2 to Martinez. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike three. A curve in the dirt, low and away. The ball squirted out of Real Muto's glove, but he steps on home plate to effect the force, which ends the inning. 3 strikeouts for Suarez, and he gets out of big early trouble. 2 hits, 3 left at the end of 1. The Phillies nothing, the Mets nothing. On Odyssey, Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
For the latest updates on Hurricane Milton, tune to alerts from the Weather Channel. What to expect and who may be impacted.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Jim Cantori. When severe weather is impacting any part of the country, a live simulcast of the Weather Channel for the latest information to keep you safe and informed.
Tune to alerts from the Weather Channel for the latest information on Hurricane Milton.
Whenever active weather is breaking, alerts from the Weather Channel on the SiriusXM app. Just search weather.
The $5 meal deal at McDonald's means you get to pick between a McDouble or a McChicken. Then get a small fry, a small drink, and a 4-piece McNuggets. That's a lot of McDonald's for not a lot of money. Get the $5 meal deal today.
Prices and participation may vary for a limited time only.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the Sirius.
What a division series we have had so far, and it continues on. Please take a second to check that link that is pinned in the chat. Go check out our campaign page. We're running a campaign for Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto as part of their Create 100K donation drive. We have opened it up for the MLB playoffs and NHL opening night. Thank you so much for clicking that link. A portion of our proceeds goes donated every single month to Sick Kids Hospital. So just by being here, you're making a difference in our community. Please take a second. If you see an ad that catches your interest, please click it and support the advertisers here on YouTube. As well, you can support our channel with sending in super chats or by sharing this link out. That's the number one. The more you guys can get this Sick Kids campaign link out, the better. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Let's make a big difference and raise a bunch of money for our community. Let's get back to the baseball. Good luck to your team.
That'll be later tonight because the National League Championship Series will not start until Sunday in California. The Mets win today. That's a few days off. So here's Castellanos, right-hand batter. First pitch on the way, taken outside, ball 1. If not, then Game 5 would be back in Philadelphia on Friday night. Remember, the Phillies have the best home record in baseball this year. 1-0 to Castellanos, swinging a high pop-up near first, now into foul ground, slicing towards the stands. Alonso over, makes the one-hand catch on the dirt. 1 man away. Breeze appeared to be pushing that ball further and further over towards the dugout, but Alonso made the play, and now Alec Bohm will be the batter.
You can see a couple of hot dog wrappers kicking up, and those flags high above the their retired numbers in left field. They're whipping in from that left field line toward home plate.
So a little bit different feeling atmospherically than there was yesterday. And now Bohm will be the batter, right-hand hitter. Quintana's first pitch, fastball taken high, ball 1. Alec Bohm just 1 for 10 in the series. And in his last 6 at-bats, talk about being over-anxious, he saw just 8 pitches. Here's the 1-0 on the way, swinging a little foul ball, rolling right to the on-deck area where JT Real Muto fields it. And the count 1-1. A look at what else is going on. Sponsored by your local Honda dealers. Contact one for a great deal today. 1-1 to Bohm. Now the pitch. Swinging a bouncing ball to third. Knee-high hop for Vientos. Sets and throws in time. And there are 2 men away. Well, the Tigers are leading the Guardians 3-0 in the top of the 8th inning in Detroit. That series is tied 1-1. The Guardians have not scored since the 6th inning of Game 1. And the Tigers have used 5 pitchers, combining to allow 3 hits. Benny McClain, Mickey Lolich. Imagine telling those guys, we're going to use 5 of you for 8 innings. Here's JT Realmuto, and he takes outside for ball 1.
Can you give a Division Series MVP to a guy named Johnny Holstaff? That whole series, they only have Skubal in a bullpen.
Amazing, isn't it? 1-0 to Realmuto. Take it for a called strike. A curve, it's 1-1. Yankees in Kansas City. Later tonight, they've split the first 2. And the Padres, speaking of bullpen games, will try to close out the Dodgers in San Diego in Game 4. The 1-1 taken outside and high 2-1. And apparently that's what Dave Roberts is going to do too.
Ryan Brazier, one of the relievers, is going to start for a very battered Dodgers team that even in a 5-game set doesn't have enough pitching. That's crazy.
2-1 to Realmuto. 2 out, nobody on. Mets and Phillies scoreless top second. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball just outside. Ball 3. Bryson Stott, a left-hand hitter, is on deck. Outfield around towards right against Realmuto. He's 0 for 9 in the series. And the 3-1 pitch. Fastball just outside. Ball 4. Close pitch. But James Hoy does not give it to Quintana, and that's a walk to Realmuto. Now, if the Phillies feel that they've got to push the envelope a little bit, consider that JT Realmuto, even though he's a catcher, he can run, he can steal a base. Might still be the fastest of any catcher in baseball. So they'd have to consider the possibility here. He only stole 2 during the regular season. Bryson Stott, left-hand batter. First pitch by Quintana, fastball outside, ball 1. Of course, with Quintana, a lefty, you would think it'd be a little more difficult to run against him. But the Phillies changing their lineup around a little bit today, trying for more length against Quintana. So it's lefty-lefty here with Stott. And the 1-0 on the inside corner, a sinker. 1-1. That's today with the Mets starting lefty Sean Manaea. Bryson Stott was on the bench. So was Brandon Marsh. Marsh is batting 9th with Weston Wilson, who did not play either yesterday, on deck. He's a right-hand hitter. 1-1. The pitch. Fastball somewhere. Probably low. And the count 2-1. And you can hear the murmur from the crowd who thought that pitch had plenty of plate. But of course it depends where you're seated. And we're behind home plate. So first glance sometimes can be deceiving. 2-1 pitch. Same thing. A little bit low, and it's 3-1. So 3-1 to Bryson Stott. Quintana brings the hands together. The 3-1 pitch. Check swing, but he went around. 3-2. That was the sinker from Quintana. Stott has power. Hit 11 homers, drove in 57 runs. And the crowd back up, waving the towels. No score, 2 out. Realmuto at first. We're in the second. Alonso drops back to the base runner at first, and now time called by Stott. I would say, Keith, maybe 75% of the hitters now that get to full counts take their timeout if they haven't by then.
Yeah, we're almost surprised when we don't see him take it at 3-2.
So Quintana ready to go. Realmuto ready to run. And the payoff pitch. Swung at and missed strike 3. Got him with a sinker. Side retired. Third strikeout for Quintana. A walk, 1 left. Middle of the second. The Phillies nothing. The Mets nothing. On Odyssey. Mets Radio. Driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Let's go, Mets!
The bottom of the second is the perfect time to brew up a cup of your favorite Bigelow tea and take a moment just for you. Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
There's nothing quite like the Honda Civic Hybrid, Accord Hybrid, and CR-V Hybrid when it comes to exhilarating efficiency. With hybrid technology and thrilling capability, these vehicles deliver an electrifying performance on every drive. But what truly makes these hybrids special is the unwavering determination that inspires everything we do. Redefine your driving experience with Honda, KBB.com's best value brand of 2024.
Contact your local Honda dealer today.
Based on 2024 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelly Blue Book, visit kbb.com for more information.
You can count on our friends at Ridgewood Savings Bank to show you the community banking difference with cutting-edge conveniences and a century-long tradition of award-winning service. Ridgewood is a financial partner you can count on today, tomorrow, and all of the years to come. Whether you prefer to bank at your local neighborhood branch, from home, or on the go, they're always here to help you reach your goals. So let our friends at Ridgewood be the full-service banking partner you can count on to support you in your financial journey. Visit ridgewoodbank.com to find out more. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Pat McCarthy here, and I'd like to tell you about my alma mater, the College of New Jersey. At TCNJ, you get the best of both worlds. A top-notch education at a public college price point. TCNJ's faculty are partners in their students' success with courses that are more immersive and that offer transformational learning experiences along the way. That's higher education elevated. Come see for yourself what makes TCNJ so special. Learn more and register for an open house at tcnj.edu.
Mets and Phillies scoreless going to the last of the second inning here at Citi Field. We want to thank Ray Katina and welcome him as a new sponsor of Mets baseball. The Ray Katina family of dealerships is the premier luxury automotive group. Experience the Ray Katina way. Visit raykatina.com. So, Ranger Suarez back on the mound with kind of a new lease in life. He threw 30 pitches in the first inning, but a lot of those came before the at-bats by Iglesias and Martinez, as the Mets had loaded the bases with one out. But Jose Iglesias had maybe his least disciplined plate appearance of the year, at least that comes to mind, because he's been pretty good in those spots. As we mentioned, he'd been 6 for 8 against Ranger Suarez, but he struck out 3 pitches. Then J.D. Martinez struck out as well. And Suarez could take a deep breath, and so can Rob Thompson and the Phillies pitching coach Caleb Coughlin, who don't have to get anybody up in the bullpen yet. Bottom third of the order for the Mets, Starling Marte takes a fastball for a called strike, 0-1. The first pitch that he sees as a 36-year-old. Happy birthday, Starling, 36 years young today. The 0-1 curve in the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike. Tyrone Taylor on deck, and then Francisco Alvarez. Just one very thin patch of sunlight. The 1-1 taken high, 2-1. It is inconsequentially located deep center field. That won't affect anything hit in the air. Lights will begin to take effect fairly soon, but they are on. And the 2-1 to Marte. Swing on a pop foul. Right field side going out of play downstairs. And the count now is 2 balls and 2 strikes on Marte. Suarez kicks and delivers, and a curve in the dirt, ball 3. So again, Suarez using up some pitches here. Already at 35 without having yet recorded it out in the second. And the payoff pitch. Breaking ball, hit foul, little roller to the backstop. Once again, Rob Thompson was pretty adamant that under virtually no conditions would we see Zach Wheeler today. Christopher Sanchez, that's another story. Sanchez should be very much available. Here's the starting pitcher Sunday in game 2 of the series. 3-2, the payoff pitch. Marte takes a fastball low inside, ball 4. So Suarez has walked his second batter. The Mets get the leadoff man on, and Tyrone Taylor, guy who badly needs a hit, will be the batter.
I'll tell you, James Hoy, that was a close pitch behind home plate, but it looked a little bit low and a little bit in, and he's had a tight zone, and both sides can say that. So Hoy has been tight and it's been even, which is at least good at the beginning of this game.
Well, here's Tyrone Taylor. He is 2 for 20. First pitch to the right-hand batter, line to left field. That's a base hit. Played on the first hop by Wilson. Going to second is Marte. He stops there. And now the Mets once again stirring as they have runners at first and second, nobody out. Francisco Alvarez, the batter. Now, sometimes you think about your number 9 hitter in a spot like this and say, well, maybe he drops one down. Alvarez is very rarely asked to do that. You would not expect that. You don't want the ground ball, of course, which could be a specialty for Suarez because of the double play possibility. But I think if Alvarez bunts here, that would produce 3 great googly mooglies.
I mean, the only drop it down is which level? The down level, the second level, or the third level? That's what he's thinking about right now.
Phillies aren't thinking about it. They're back in the first pitch, breaking ball outside, ball 1. And there is a little movement in the Phillies bullpen. Nobody's gotten up to throw yet. So Alvarez ahead in the count, 1-0. Marte at second, Taylor at first. Good speed at both precincts. The 1-0 pitch. That's a strike on the outside corner. A sinker. So 1-1 to Alvarez. 4 out of 22 in the postseason. No homers, 1 RBI. He has struck out 8 times. The only hit against Suarez that he's had is a home run. The 1-1 swing on a high pop foul. Going back into the seats behind first base downstairs. And Suarez, once again fighting, is now ahead 1-2.
Well, Jeff Hoffman has started throwing for the Phillies in their bullpen. So second inning, Rob Thompson's already on the phone, getting his pen going.
1-2 to Alvarez. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, a curveball. And the Mets chase again as Iglesias did, as Martinez did, and now as Alvarez does in the second. That's the first out. Back to the top of the order for Francisco Lindor. So every out recorded by Suarez through an inning and a third has been by a strikeout.
And all 4 of those strikeouts have finished. The put-away pitch has been on that devastating curve.
So now Lindor, who struck out first time. First pitch, curve is low, ball 1. Mark Vientos waiting on deck. And you've seen enough of these games over the years to get the feeling that let's need to cash something in here, because you start leaving guys on too early in a game, that comes back to bite you later. The 1-0, swing and a miss at a high fastball, actually foul tipped it into the mid of Real Muto. It's 1-1. I think that pitch was out of the strike zone. And we very rarely see Lindor chase up.
We've seen it for this lineup. And again, Suarez, when he's on, can be tough. I know he's had a lot of base runners, but he's tough to pick up. Tough to know what's coming.
Well, Francisco has just called his timeout.
I mean, like you mentioned at the outset, he was, April and May into June. We were thinking, well, Ranger Suarez making a bid for Cy Young. He hasn't looked like Cy Young today, but there have been glimpses. So you go, man, these swings and misses are all over the place.
Here's the 1-1 to Lindor. Swing on a liner, foul right into the Phillies dugout. Some low bridges there, as that one might have ricocheted off the back wall and gone right down the runway.
Former Met Taijuan Walker was there. He's hanging on the railing, and tough to move a big guy like that quickly, but Taijuan got out of there.
Well, Suarez spinning that curveball up here again. Ahead 1-2. The pitch. It's taken low and away. That was the changeup. And it's 2-2 to Lindor. So here in the second inning, Jeff Hoffman up in the Phillies bullpen. That's got to him in the first game of the series. Hoffman not used to seeing the mound this early. Suarez trying to keep him in the bullpen. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Another curveball down and away. And Lindor goes after it.
I think he's arguing that he tipped it and then it hit the ground, but James Hoy is saying you're out. I believe that went right into Real Muto's glove, or he didn't tip it. I'm not going to see a replay, I don't think, in time before this next at bat, but boy, the curveball yet again devastating against these guys.
Carlos Mendoza is going to go out there and talk to James Hoy about it. But nothing's going to change. Vientos will be the batter here. So the Mets now in this game, technically with the base hit by Alonso. 1 for 5 with men in scoring position. Vientos trying to change that, get a run home. First pitch, swing on a pop foul, straight back out of play, actually off behind the first base dugout downstairs, and the count 0-1. Vientos doubled to left center his first time up. Phillies nothing, Mets nothing. Suarez has thrown most every pitch under duress The 0-1 taken high and tight, 1-1. They don't just measure pitch counts, they measure stressful pitches, as the managers call them. And those come with men on base. Remember, the Mets left 3 aboard in the first. They had 2 on, nobody out here, and they're still at first and second. With 2 out, the 1-1. Vientos takes the curve low, ball 2. Brandon Nimmo waiting on deck. Excruciating, isn't it, when you get this close to breaking through early against a team that you're trying to deliver a knockout punch against, and just keep you from getting where you need to get because of that great curveball of Suarez. 2-1 pitch, breaking ball, hit slowly on the ground to third. Bohm up with it, holds onto it, and Vientos has an infield hit. It was slowly hit, and again, I think when Bohm picked that ball up, I think he was contemplating whether he had any kind of chance to get over towards Marte. Remember, there was a force in effect there, so maybe Bohm was thinking, do I have time to get to third? But that hesitation against a slow-moving Vientos cost him the play. If he pursued that aggressively and just charged and fired to first, they might have had Vientos. But here goes again. The Mets have the bases loaded. Caleb Cotham is on his way to the mound. He's the pitching coach.
Now you can see Bohm's reaction. He utters a word that is usually uttered by somebody who just knew he cost his team maybe an out to get out of the inning. He turns his hips before the ball gets toward him to pick it up because he's thinking, do I go here, do I go there? And that hesitation, and he who hesitates is lost. And Bohm hesitates now for the second time in this game. And you just mentioned the feeling of, well, the Mets have been gifted some chances. Neither manager feels awfully good right now. Carlos Mendoza is hoping that 90 feet, the Bohm misplay there, will lead to a good feeling right here with Nimmo up.
Now that's up to Brandon Nimmo, who we told you before is just 3 for 25 in his career against Suarez. Now Nimmo walked his first time up. Suarez will not have much rope here at all, whether he gets Nimmo or not. He's at 51 pitches now. With no guarantee, even if he gets out of this, that he starts the third inning, but a lot depends on what the Phillies might do offensively. What Suarez tells them and what Rob Thompson and Caleb Cotham think. But here we go. Bases loaded, 2 out. Suarez from the stretch. First pitch to Nimmo. Swing on a bouncer foul up the first baseline, 0-1. And it's not as though Suarez has not been getting ahead of the hitters. He's gotten a lot of foul balls on first pitches. And even though his ratio is getting better, 31 strikes, 21 balls, I mean, he's been ahead 0-1, it seems, on most everyone. As he is to Nimmo. Bohm in tight at third. Lefty against lefty to pitch. Swinging a bouncing ball to first. Big hop for Harper. He trots to the bag in time. Side retired, and the Mets are going to pray that they don't rue these first 2 innings when they have left the bases loaded in each of them. No runs, 2 hits for the second straight inning, 3 left. At the end of 2, it's the Phillies nothing, the Mets nothing on Odyssey Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Let's go Mets! Hold the entire show. Hold the show.
When the sports world is talking, nobody gives you more perspectives than the experts of Sirius XM.
The New York Jets have fired head coach Robert Saleh. Wow.
Hear instant reaction on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
This should have been done in the off-season.
And expert analysis on NFL Radio.
Aaron wants to do it Aaron's way. This reminds me of Favre and Mangini all over again.
Live sports talk when you need it on Sirius XM and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Sirius XM has everything a college football fan needs.
He's in trouble and down he goes. The ball comes out.
All the big games are on the Sirius XM app.
Down the sidelines, midfield. It's a race. Picking them up, putting them down.
Plus, hear daily in-depth analysis on College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
There's not a lot of holes or weaknesses on that football team, and they've got the goods where you want to have the goods for a championship caliber roster.
Our experts get you ready for game day every day on Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Catch a brand new season preview show of your favorite team every weeknight until the season starts. Only on NBA Radio Channel 86 and the SiriusXM app.
SiriusXM NFL Radio is your home for the National Football League all year long on Channel 88 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Wear what the players are wearing on field during the postseason. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. Visit MLBshop.com for your Mets postseason gear. Well, we've seen stuff like this before, and all too often when you have the kind of chances the Mets have over the first 2 innings to kind of put their stamp on this game and at least establish a lead and maybe a sizable one. And if you don't cash in at all, well, the other team has a tendency of making you pay. So it's up to Jose Quintana to preclude that scenario from developing, as the Mets and Phillies are scoreless, despite the fact that the Mets have had and left the bases loaded in each of the first 2 innings, Keith.
A whopping 53 pitches, too, from Ranger Suarez, but no runs to show for it. And here's Weston Wilson, the righty leading off today for Philadelphia, playing left field. First pitch from Quintana hits the outside corner, a curveball strike, and it's 0-1. Wilson, then Marsh, then the leadoff man Schwarber, 8-9-1 here in the 3rd inning. Quintana slowly winds and deals the next. Missed outside a changeup, 1-1 strike. And the other part of it too is that this Philadelphia offense right now knows it's kind of feeling a little pressure right now, and so they feel like they can at least maybe hang around after what just happened. The 1-1. Slammed in the air toward right. Marte moving back toward the track. Backpedaling, makes the catch right in front of the Payson Cadillac Club. Now Marte moving back on it. Had to turn his hips and square himself toward the infield. That was all over it. Made the catch for the first out. That was Weston Wilson's first ever postseason plate appearance. And he flies out to right. Now he's one of the guys that Rob Thompson put into the lineup today that may not have, well, the book had said put him in there. Same deal with this guy, Brandon Marsh, batting left-handed. No score, top 3. Game 4, Mets and Phillies. Quintana the lefty to the lefty Marsh. First pitch is outside with ball 1. Again, Bryson Stott, who hit 7th, struck out his first time. He's playing second base, where you'd usually see the righty Edmundo Sosa. And Brandon Marsh is in there, batting left in the 9th spot. The lefty Quintana's next. That's outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Johan Rojas is the other right-handed hitting option for Philadelphia, but even the righty versus the lefty, Rojas has given the Phillies next to no pop. And so Marsh has a little more home run power. Career high in homers this year, 16 of them, is batting against the lefty. Quintana behind here, now the 2-0. Marsh swings, grounds 1 to first. Right there, Alonso picks it up, races to the bag, and steps on it in time, 1 away. Alonso took it himself. All right, that's the 2nd out. 2 down here in this 3rd inning. We're coming to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. So back to the top of the order for Quintana. First time through, 1 through 9. Just gave up 1 base runner. That was the walk to JT Realmuto, but 3 strikeouts and no hits. Here's Kyle Schwarber, lefty against lefty. Again, wind blowing in from left today. Quintana winds and fires. Has popped up behind home plate. Alvarez chucks the mask, turns, nearing the front row, watches it go foul into the 3rd row behind the brick wall. That sits in front of the front row here at Citi Field. And again, who knows if that wind had something to do with it, because Alvarez flipped off the mask, turned, got right around the logo in the grass, stopped, and then started to move toward the wall. And Schwarber able to survive and see another pitch. Met infield is back, swung around to the right. The outfielders are also playing Schwarber to pull. Quintana, slow windup, fires the 0-1. Breaking ball bends outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Schwarber went down early on a slurve from Quintana, who's only had 41 pitches. He's thrown fewer than, of course, his counterpart, Ranger Suarez, already. The kick and the 1-1. Bounces up there. 2 balls and a strike. Trey Turner is on deck. Jeff Hoffman, by the way, who was throwing in the Philadelphia bullpen during that 2nd inning when the Mets had loaded the bases, he has since sat down. So while Rob Thompson's going to have a quick trigger to get the next guy in there, he doesn't want to use everybody for every inning, so he's going to shoot Suarez out there for the 3rd. 2-1 on Schwarber. The windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss at 90. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fans at Citi Field to their feet, out of their chairs, swirling those orange towels overhead. Towels for this series. Simply say 3 words. Let's go Mets. No score, top 3. Bases clear, 2 outs. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Outside, try the slurve. And the count full. Again, lefty to lefty. The slurve put away Schwarber last time. It's hard to see that pitch break and to track it. And Schwarber did that time. Quintana has his sign. The kick and the payoff. Pulled foul down first, right beyond Alonso, but it was foul. And it stays full. Again, Carlos Torres is the umpire down the first base line. Behind him, maybe 40 feet behind him, going further down the right field line, that's Doug Eddings. Have a 6-man crew here in the postseason. Quintana tugs at the bill of his cap, remounts the mound. Another payoff pitch to Schwarber. Here comes. Swing and a miss. Change up away. Got him for the second time. Quintana marches off the mound. 3 scoreless on his end. And we're scoreless in this one. Mets and Phillies, middle of 3 on Odyssey Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
The Ray Catena family of dealerships is the premier luxury automotive group in New Jersey and New York for one simple reason. They always put the customer first. With the finest inventory of luxury vehicles and legendary customer service, experience the Ray Catena way. Visit raycatena.com. While everyone is listening to the ball game, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative is hard at work rebuilding our infrastructure. Whether it's transportation, water, or energy projects, ELEC and the Operating Engineers 825 are ready to get to work building our bounce back.
Hey, New York fans. Phones weren't made to be broken, but life happens. So when you break your phone, Verizon in New York City's got you. Trade in any phone from one of their top brands in any condition, guaranteed, and get a great deal on one of their best 5G phones with unlimited ultimate. Switch now and save. Available at a New York City area Verizon store.
Once your day starts, it doesn't stop. You go and go and go some more. Routines like yours demand reliable tires. Tires that keep up with you. Day after day, mile after mile, season after season. That's why Uniroyal Tires makes the tried and true Uniroyal Tiger Paw Touring All-Season tire. A good tire with great value so you can have total confidence every time you drive. The Uniroyal Tiger Paw Touring All-Season tire. Learn more about Uniroyal Tires at Whitey's Tire Service on Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn or go to uniroyaltires.com.
Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop, a proud partner of the Mets. It's a ready-to-drink premium seltzer that comes in 4 gin-based all-natural flavors: citrus, melon, passion fruit, and apricot. Only 3 grams of sugar and 130 calories. Make these playoffs memorable with Gin and Juice, and cheers to a victory.
Mets nothing, Phillies nothing. Game 4 this NLDS. Mets lead 2 games to 1. A win tonight, they would clinch. Phillies win tonight, that would force a Game 5 on Friday down in Philadelphia. And this bottom of the 3rd inning, sponsored by Sun Cruiser Hard Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. Refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack one open and let the good times cruise. Well, I don't know if you'd call him good times for Ranger Suarez, but he's certainly living life on the edge right now. He has loaded the bases twice. Mets loaded it up in the 1st inning, didn't score. Well, he came back and said, let me have a good 2nd inning. Well, he loaded the bases again, and once again, the Mets did not score. And so that kind of goes to show you why the baseball world over the last 10 years has said, it's hard to string together rallies. Let's just try to hit home runs. 1 swing is better than 4. And we'll see if this guy has anything in there, with Pete Alonso leading off here in the bottom of this 3rd inning.
Here's a new walk-up song.
First pitch to Pete. Missed inside, ball 1.
Do you even know the song American Pie?
Don McLean, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Bye this way. Anyway, he said he heard it on shuffle and said, this would be cool.
The crowd was so loud I didn't even notice it. The 1-0. Suarez delivers a letter-high fastball strike, and it's 1-1. I'm more of a fan of Vincent, but I don't mind American Pie.
That's all right. I mean, that's over 50 years ago.
You're telling me, Howie.
I'm sure you got it.
Here's the 1-1. That's at the knees, a called strike, and it's 1-2. Good to see Alonso throwing it back. Now Pete, whatever he's been doing lately has been working. 3 homers in his postseason. Did single his first time. The 1-2. Up and in, missed with a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now again, Jeff Hoffman had been up and throwing in that second inning. And Suarez, not only has he Houdini'd his way out of trouble in the first 2 innings, he's thrown a lot of pitches to do so. He's at 57 right now, which is a nightmare if you're talking about a manager going with 1 pitcher for the full game. But it's going to be a short stint today for Suarez. 2-2. High and in. He's run it full. And it's been a lot of this. Certainly he's gotten out of trouble, but he's had a lot of full counts. Alonso had an infield hit on a full count his first time. Suarez winds and fires the payoff. Low. Guess what? The curve. And Alonso and the Mets have maybe learned their lesson. It's ball 4 and Pete's on. So this heart of the order continuing. The heart of the Mets lineup is powered by 10-to-1 Rum. Elevate your game day experience with 10-to-1 Rum's lineup of Mets-inspired cocktails. 10-to-1 Rum, a proud partner of the New York Mets.
Mets have sent 13 men to the plate. 7 of them have reached, and yet they have nothing to show for it.
Phillies infield gathers together. Let's pause 10 seconds. Station ID.
That's radio on W. You're listening to the National League Division Series on Sirius XM. Join us after the game on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89.
In the series, 2-1, but so far scoreless here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Phillies infield got together after the Suarez walk. Looks like Jeff Hoffman is back up and throwing and probably ready here pretty soon. Runner at first base, nobody out. Jose Iglesias is up. Really good lifetime numbers against Suarez. Pitch. Downstairs with a changeup. Ball 1. Now again, keeping that in mind that Iglesias has seen Suarez well. Well, he didn't in that first at-bat. Suarez put him away on 3 pitches. That was with the bases loaded. 1-0. Downstairs again, tried the sinker. Ball 2. Now again, if you do what the Mets did over the first 2 innings, eventually the dam will break. That's just the odds. And Suarez missing big time here. 2-0 on Iglesias. The set, the pitch. At the knees, got the call. 93 for strike 1. Iglesias, then Martinez. 2 guys that are looking to, again, redeem themselves as the Mets loaded the bases. Those 2 guys came up and struck out. 2-1. Swing and a miss at a curve in the dirt. And it's 2-2. And again, these 40,000 plus and the 2 of us up here are kind of thinking, man, this curveball must really be something. Because it comes in very slow, drops down low, and it's well out of the zone. But these Mets hitters have been just overzealous on that pitch all day. 2-2. Swing and a miss at a curve. This one caught the low inside corner. It would have been strike 3, but untouchable. Still, this 1 pitch from Rangers. Suarez, 1 out in the 3rd inning. Step up to the plate with Mets Connect, the New York Mets loyalty program. Join now for free at MetsConnect.com to earn points and enjoy exclusive benefits. And stepping up right now, here's J.D. Martinez. No score, bottom 3, Mets and Phillies. Pitch. Down and in with a fastball. It's a ball and no strikes. The Hoffman standing there in that bullpen mound. Again, the bullpens here at Citi Field are side by side in right center. Phillies on the left from this vantage point. Mets on the right. Hoffman just standing there. He's ready. 1-0. Up and in. 2-0 on Martinez. And with a lefty starter, the Mets have gone heavy right-handers today. The only lefty starter in the batting order for the Mets is Nimmo. And then Lindor, of course, a switch hitter who will just spin around. Hoffman, a righty, is waiting in the wings. But Suarez out here still against Martinez. Marte to follow. The 2-0. Swing a bouncing ball to shortstop. Turner's got it. Underhand flip to second. A little high. Stock comes down on the bag and still has time to throw out Martinez at first. Rangers, Suarez, go get a lottery ticket, man. You've been getting out of trouble and getting lucky all day. No runs, a walk, no hits, and nobody left after the 6-4-3 double play. We go to the 4th. Still no score in Game 4. Mets nothing, Phillies nothing on Odyssey Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on Sirius XM Channel 89 and every morning on the Sirius XM app.
While you're listening to this game on Sirius XM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 159.
The new basketball season is around the corner, and Sirius XM NBA Radio is getting you ready by talking to the biggest stars in the game.
Joined now by Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I want to be able to have a shot at winning it all.
Every weeknight until the season starts, hear a different team's preview show.
We've got Kevin Durant sitting down with us.
Championship is always a goal.
NBA Radio season preview shows. Only on NBA Radio, Channel 86. And for any interviews or previews you missed, hear them on the Sirius XM app.
Mets fans, this is Carlos Mendoza, and you're listening to Mets Baseball on Sirius XM.
Mets fans, this is David Stearns, and you're listening to Mets Baseball on Sirius XM.
Sponsored by Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today. Mets nothing, Phillies nothing. Top of this fourth inning. And what has been a really strange game for the Mets, who have had base runner after base runner after base runner, but haven't scored against Ranger Suarez, who left the bases loaded in the first and in the second, and had a leadoff walk in the third, in which the Phillies infield came together to give the bullpen some time because, well, Ranger's not going to get it at this one, is he? Well, he did. He struck out Jose Iglesias and got J.D. Martinez to bounce into an inning-ending double play. So that's one side of this thing. The other side is that Jose Quintana's been great again, but second time through against this Phillies lineup, he has to be again a little more creative than he was first time around. He'll see Turner, Harper, Castellanos. Turner flew out to right his first time. Infield plays him straight up. Good hitter to all fields. Pitch. Missed outside a changeup for ball one. Again, only a walk allowed by Quintana on a JT Realmuto. Base on balls in the second inning, but 4 strikeouts for Quintana. The windup, kick, and the 1-0. Downstairs changeup, 2 balls and no strikes. And as Quintana's season was up and down and up and down, the highs were high, the lows were really low with all the homers this year. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Pop foul, first base side, slicing into the seats. 2-1. He's been on a good run, as we've seen. Last 7 starts, ERA sub 1. It's over a good chunk of time in some high-pressure settings. He said he made it a tweak to his arm slot, a la Sean Manaea. Here's the 2-1 to Turner. Down and in, missed with a fastball. 3-1 on Turner. We'll talk about Sean Manaea dropping his arm slot after watching Chris Sale pitch here for Atlanta. Quintana's been the opposite. The Mets have actually asked him to pick up his release point just a little bit, and it seems to have made a great difference. 3-1. Swing and a miss. Turner way out in front of that curve. And a count 3-2. It's only a 78-mile-an-hour curve. Sponsored by Spectrum. A connection built for everywhere. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum. Towels waving. Fans on their feet. 3-2 pitch to Turner. Flied foul to the right over the first base dugout and out of play. What the Mets have been able to do with their starters, not just Quintana, but Severino and Manaea, and for that matter, Peterson, under this new regime of David Stearns and Carlos Mendoza, really good changes everywhere. Another payoff. Broken back, grounded to short. Lindor there, picks it up. One fell swoop, fires to first. In time to get the speedy Turner. One away. Had to go quick with the transfer with Turner running, and that's what Lindor did. That's another out for Jose Quintana. Going to spring up Bryce Harper. Scoreless game, top of the 4th inning. Harper struck out his first time. Left on left changeup from Quintana. Not a pitch you usually see to put away a lefty, but again, it's hard to put away Harper. Quintana able to do that the first time around. Infield back around to the right. Quintana rocks and deals. Breaking ball down and away. Somewhat of a check swing, but Harper just simply lunged forward, kept the bat back, and on appeal to third, John Tempane didn't really move. So ball one on Harper.
Yeah, that was really not a necessary appeal. I mean, what did Harper do? He took a breath? I mean, barely moved the hands.
Alvarez is always searching for a strike, for an out for his pitcher, whether that's knowing a guy is struggling and trying to backpick somebody on the bases or point to an umpire to try to steal a strike on a check swing. Quintana has his side. Here's the 1-0. Up and in. Harper sucks his hands in on a sinker. And a count, 2 balls and no strikes. Now again, the question marks are going to be on how the Mets going to handle Harper in this series. Good count for him here. The 2-0. Breaking ball, strike, just clipped the outside corner, and it's 2-1. Rob Thompson even said, and again, Harper is such a giant in this game. He's such a beast. He's had so many great years. But even the Phillies think he's been putting too much pressure on himself. 2-1. A little bit high. Alvarez tried to bring down the fastball, but it's ball 3. Well, 3-1 on Harper. Nick Castellanos on deck. No score, top 4. 57 pitches for Quintana. Has allowed 1 over the minimum. Gonna make a good pitch here on 3-1 to a good hitter. Here comes. High, ball 4. So Harper walks. Second base runner allowed by Quintana. And now we'll see a righty in Nick Castellanos. Castellanos had such a great line last night. I wonder if he's been listening to the Goo Goo Dolls a little bit, because he didn't say it's the closest to heaven that I've ever been, but he said the Phillies are as close to death as they've ever been. So we'll see if the feeling of facing elimination kind of brings them alive a little bit. That's what he was talking about last night. First pitch. Swinging a line drive, left field. Nimmo back toward the track, looks up. It's off the warning track, bounds up over the wall, and Nimmo fires in. It's a ground rule double, and that'll put Harper at third base. Castellanos gets to second. Edwin Moscoso, the left field umpire, ran out there and held his hand up to signal 2. And so the ball did bound over the wall onto that black ascending wall. And a hard hit double for Castellanos. First hit for the Phillies. Pitch up and in, and Castellanos turned on it. And here's Alec Bohm. So the corners come in, middle infield back. No score, top 4 for the best chance of the night for Philadelphia. Quintana a long hold. Now comes set. Staring at second. Fires home. Missed low. Change up. Ball and no strikes on Bohm.
First base is open. Real Muto is on deck. So they may be a bit careful with Bohm, who drove in 97 runs and missed some time with a hand injury.
Just 1 for 11 in the postseason. He grounded out to Vientos at third his first time. Vientos is in, so is Alonso. Middle infielders are back. Runners lead. The 1-0. Down and in, curve. 2 balls and no strikes. And again, if you do put Bohm on, bases loaded, you have the ability to get the next guy, Real Muto, to ground into a double play. Of course, here with first base open, no double play opportunity for the Mets. The outfield against Bohm playing the other way toward right center. Runners lead second and third. 2-0. Bounces up there. Alvarez blocks it. It rolls up the first base line. Runners stay put. Harper stays at third. Castellanos stays at second. But now it's 3-0. And again, Quintana, first time through, really nifty. Not much trouble. Only base runner he had was with 2 outs, so shrugged it right off. However, this 4th inning, a walk to Harper and a double to Castellanos. And behind on Bohm. Quintana set. Looks toward the plate and fires. Right down the middle of sinker, strike at 88 miles an hour, and it's 3-1. Now again, should the Phillies knock a couple in here, the Mets have left the bases loaded twice in this game. Quintana set center of the rubber. Second and third for Philly. 1 out. 3-1 pitch. Swinging a chopper foul behind home plate, and it's 3-2. Quintana lifts his hat, wipes some sweat from that forehead, tucks the glove under his armpit, 2 hands to rub up that ball. It's been a sweaty top of the 4th inning here with Castellanos in second, Harper leading from third, and from 3-0 to now 3-2 on Alec Bohm. JT Realmuto on deck. Quintana still can execute a good pitch without giving in to Alec Bohm. First base is open. The set and the pitch. Chopper hit toward third. Here comes the runner. Vientos drops the ball again. Harper scores. Castellanos to third. Bohm is on. 1-0 Philly in the 4th. This is deja vu for Vientos, but just a couple of days ago in Philly had an almost eerily similar play that he also couldn't make at home plate.
Because I believe he tried to speed it up a little bit. He knew that he had to get to that ball and hustle the throw to the plate. Harper pretty fast going down the line, but he tried to throw that ball before he secured it. Essentially, as he brought the hands together, he was already getting into throwing position and moving that arm back, and as he brought him back towards the ball, it squirted away from him, and the Phillies have the first run. And you know, this is what we were talking about before. You have the chances the Mets did in the first 2 innings and you don't cash in. Those things have a way of coming back to really hurt you. And right now it has. And the question is, how much more might it happen in this inning?
Now they've called that a fielder's choice and an E5. No RBI for Alec Bohm. So 1-0. Mets infield came together to cool Quintana down. They have a double play opportunity here with first and third, 1 out. Middle infielders are playing double play depth. Vientos also back at third, and Realmuto digs in. Quintana from the belt has his back to the runner at third, facing the runner at first. Holds and deals. Misses low with a changeup with ball 1. Again, isn't it funny and kind of cruel this game sometimes? Mets have the bases loaded and you figure just put the ball in play. Good things will happen. Well, the Mets couldn't do that against Ranger Suarez's curveball. And then the Phillies have just the slightest of openings. They put the ball in play, and it leads to a run. And could be a couple more here. Quintana set at the belt. 1-0 on Realmuto. Pitch. Up and in. 2 balls and no strikes. And remember, Realmuto walked his first time. That's the first guy that Quintana allowed on base. Yesterday, the Mets led from the jump and led the entire way, 1-7-2. Phillies ahead first in this one. Game 4. Quintana from the belt. First and third for Philly. The 2-0. Swinging a pop-up right side of the infield towards shallow right. Here comes Marte in. He makes the catch and fires in. Castellanos didn't even bother to tag at third base. So Realmuto flies and pops out really to shallow right. Had Iglesias gone out there, he might have been able to make the catch, but he figured, let me have Marte handle this coming in. And so he makes the play. Bohm stays at first, Castellanos stays at third. And with 2 outs, here's a lefty, Bryson Stott. Phillies up 1-0, top of the 4th. Quintana knows that 1 out, you get out of this. He'll take it, down 1. Stott, though, has certainly had his moments. Saw him come up huge in Game 2 with what turned out to be the go-ahead triple down in Philadelphia. Struck out his first time. Quintana got him with a hard sinker. Castellanos at third, Bohm at first. Middle infield back. Vientos in at third. Pitch. Strike, top of the zone. Split the plate with a sinker. Strike 1. Alonso holding on Bohm at first. Not a real threat to run. Even though Paco Figueroa, the first base coach, talking to him in his ear. Quintana set. A long hold. Clock down to 2. Now 1. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball away. Misses. That's 1 ball and 1 strike. All of a sudden you look up. Quintana's at 70 pitches right now. He walked into this inning right around the 40-45 pitch mark. 1-0 Philly, top of the 4th. The 1-1. Stott flies the ball in the air to center. Taylor in a couple of steps. Now moving back. Makes the catch. Side retired. Phillies get a couple on. Score just 1 run on one hit, one misplay at third base by Vientos. We go to the bottom of the fourth at Citi Field. Philadelphia up 1-0 on Odyssey Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Let's go Mets! Connection, opportunity, possibility. It's what we all want. Spectrum has built a world where anything is possible, with products and services designed to work better together for a seamless connectivity experience. A connection to family and friends, a connection to education, and a connection to new opportunities. So there's no limit to how big we can dream.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you, the one that's listening to the MLB playoffs with us. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Please take a second to hit that subscribe button. Have you not subscribed yet? You're listening to all these MLB playoff games. Look at all the people that we have here in the chat. Please take a second and hit that subscribe button to help our Toronto sports community grow so we can continue to bring more and more sports out to you, the fans. Thank you again so much for being here. We really appreciate you helping this community grow. Now let's get back to the baseball. Good luck to your team. Let's have a great time and keep it classy in the chat. Cheers, everybody.
Experience the ultimate connection in the new 2024 Nissan Rogue. Now Nissan offers 6 vehicles with starting MSRP under $30,000. Visit your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today. Not equipped on all vehicles. Requires compatible device. Sequences shortened and simulated. Activation of Nissan Connect services package required. Only use features when safe and legal to do so. Data rates may apply. Subject to third-party service availability. Google, Google Play, and Google Maps are trademarks of Google LLC. Applies to 2024 Nissan Altima, Kicks, Leaf, Rogue, Sentra, and Versa base models. Trim level described with higher MSRP. All prices are manufacturer suggested retail price. MSRP excludes $13.90 destination and handling charges, tax, title, license, and options. Dealer sets actual prices.
We go to the home half of the fourth inning at Citi Field. Philadelphia has struck first, 1-0 lead for the Phillies. If you look at the line score, it's a little bit telling about how this game has gone. The Phillies have 1 run on 1 hit. Now, the Mets have had 4 hits, a ton of base runners, but no runs. And Ranger Suarez unbelievably survived to this bottom of the fourth inning. Again, you get away with the murder for 3 innings. You figured you run out of town, you try to beat the fuzz and get out of there. But, well, Rob Thompson says, try your luck again, Ranger. And that's been a lot of luck. And, don't want to take anything away from Suarez. His curveball's been unhittable. But eventually, you wouldn't recommend to anybody that load the bases every single time and get out of it. Somehow, Suarez has been able to do that twice. And now we'll see Marte, Taylor, and Alvarez here, bottom 4. Mets chasing 1. First pitch. Pops the glove outside corner. A sinker strike, and it's 0-1. Marte, Taylor, Alvarez are 7, 8, and 9. Second time Ranger Suarez seeing these guys, and nobody's up in that Philly bullpen. 0-1. A little bit high. Breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. The other subplot of this, too, is that deep down in both of these managers' minds is Game 5. 1-1. Fisted foul to the right, over the dugout and into the lower seats downstairs, 1 and 2. And so maybe with even just the smidgest of leads, Rob Thompson is thinking, well, maybe I'll be able to save at least 1 more arm, 1 more inning. Potentially, not just for tonight, but for Friday. 1-2. Chop foul on a protect me swing from Starling Marte. Just got a piece of that fastball. That's 1 and 2 still. Starling walked his first time. Did not come around to score. Again, he was stranded at third base. Sways the bat over the plate. Marte's had a pretty good postseason so far. Here's the 1-2. Just missed in tight with a fastball. 2 and 2. And again, his 36th birthday. I wonder if even these guys who make millions, they get the email from HR. Happy birthday. 2-2. Breaking ball fouled straight down at home plate. It stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now for Marte, he's had a lot of postseason experience. He's been there with the Pittsburgh Pirates a couple times. Been there with Miami. And with the Mets. And of course, he was in a Mets uniform 2 years ago when the Mets dropped a potential clincher to the Padres in the wild card. Suarez nods yes. Here's his 2-2. Breaking ball fouled down the third base line toward the Philly dugout. Stays 2 and 2. So Suarez still snapping off a lot of these curveballs low in the zone. of a lot of top-down 12-6 type movement. Pitch up and in, 3-2 on Marte. And again, Taylor is on deck. He had a base hit his last time. Pretty purple and violet sky overhead here at Citi Field. Bottom of the fourth inning, 1-0 Phillies. Payoff. Strike three called inside corner. A perfect pitch at 91. And that is the first of what is 7 strikeouts. The first one for Suarez, that was not a curveball. He simply pinned a 91-mile-an-hour fastball to the inside corner. So let's bring up Tyrone Taylor as we take a look at some scores brought to you by the New York Lottery. Play the new scratch-off games for your chance to win. Pitch. Taylor takes a breaking ball strike. 0-1. Gambling prop, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. How about the Detroit Tigers? They shut out Cleveland today, 3-0. Here's the 0-1. Flight in the air toward right center field. Castellanos sliding over from right, makes the catch in the gap. 2 down. 6 Tigers pitchers combined on a 6-hitter. So that means now back-to-back shutouts for the Tigers against Cleveland. And you think about those two teams and their makeup. Cleveland's bullpen was basically the best in baseball. The Tigers have outpitched them. Tigers now lead the series 2-1, a chance to finish it off in Game 4. Here's Alvarez, first pitch. That's lined in the air towards center. Marsh in a couple of steps, has a beat, makes the catch, side retired. A 1-2-3 inning for Ranger Suarez. 1-0 Philadelphia after 4 from Citi Field on Odyssey Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Let's go Mets! Now through November 1st, SiriusXM is giving away a pair of tickets to every MLB postseason game through the World Series. Listen to MLB Network Radio for the clues and be the first caller to correctly name the postseason hero, and you'll receive a pair of tickets to an MLB postseason game. MLB Network Radio has your chance to win on SiriusXM 89 and the all-new SiriusXM app. No transportation will be included in connection with these prizes. For full contest information and official rules, visit SiriusXM.com/MLB postseason heroes. No purchase necessary. Open only to current SiriusXM subscribers prior to September 22nd. Must be a U.S. resident over the age of 18.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez.
What's up, baseball fans? How's the game going for your team? A lot of fun here in the chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Please let us know in the chat where you're watching from. Let us know how far our reach is in this world. Where are you watching this game from? Here on Toronto Sports Insider. Thanks for hanging out with us. Now hit that like button, share it out to your friends, and let's get back to the baseball. Woo! Let's have some fun.
News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
You want baseball? The doggy has you covered. Tune in to Mad Dog Unleashed for the best baseball coverage anywhere. Weekdays 3 to 6 Eastern. SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Scotty Scheffler is the Masters champion.
The biggest events in golf are on PGA Tour Radio, Channel 92 in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
Back at Citi Field, Philadelphia leads 1-0 as we go to the top of the 5th. Mentioned the scores. Detroit beat Cleveland. There are 2 other games today. Yankees at Kansas City. That gets started in about a half hour. Series tied at a game apiece. And the Padres look to put away the Dodgers at 9:08 Eastern time. Padres are up 2-1. Let's pause quickly. 10 seconds. Station ID.
This is Odyssey Mets.
You're listening to the National League Division Series on SiriusXM. Join us after the game on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89.
Here we go to the top of the 5th inning, and Jose Quintana is going to come back out, and it's weird how there's that taste in your mouth, right? The Mets had 2 early opportunities, didn't score, and all of a sudden Phillies up 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, you just feel the inevitability of what's happened since taking place when you miss opportunities like that. But Quintana's got it to just 1-0 Philadelphia as he faces Weston Wilson to begin the 5th inning. And the first pitch on the way, check swing, but he goes around at a high outside fastball. Strike 1 to Wilson, who flied to right his first time. Brandon Marsh on deck, and then Kyle Schwarber. And Quintana with a right leg kick delivers. Swing and a miss at a changeup away. And quickly it's 0-2 on Wilson. Now, Ranger Suarez has rallied beautifully after those first 2 innings. And for the Mets, there is the specter not quite as large as that which existed for Mike Scott and the Astros in 1986, but there is Zach Wheeler looming Friday. The 0-2 to Wilson, a fastball taken high, 1-2, and I think the Phillies would consider that they would have a decided advantage if they could send Zach Wheeler out on full rest to go after the Mets on Friday in a series-deciding game. Here's the 1-2 to Wilson. Breaking ball is low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. In the opener of the series, Wheeler did his job limiting the Mets to 1 hit and no runs through 7 innings. 2-2 to Wilson. Fastball outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. They were able to draw 4 walks. Force Wheeler's pitch count up over 100. I think it was 115. But he'll have full rest if he goes Friday. Here's the payoff pitch. Wilson lines it in the air to left center. On the run, Taylor. He'll get there, and he makes the one-hand catch. 1 man away in this 5th inning, which is sponsored by ELEC 825, building our future. And sure sounds like if the Mets do get to Friday, that Kodai Senga might well reprise his Game 1 assignment and have lots of backup. Luis Severino would be on regular rest. Severino, having pitched in Game 2 on Sunday, would be on his 5th day. So here's Brandon Marsh. Left-hand batter, grounded to first his first time. Takes breaking ball high for ball 1. Of course, the Mets don't want to see that scenario evolve. They would like to take care of business tonight, but they trail 1-0. The Phillies have only had 1 hit. Their run was unearned because of the Vientos error. And the 1-0 pitch to Marsh, a fastball over for a called strike. And the count 1-1. Brandon Marsh with a decidedly ZZ top look in the batter's box. Their suit doesn't even begin to pay it justice. The 1-1. Swing on a foul off to the left out of play. And that settles at the back of the field level seats. So it's 1-2 as we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. Fans up, waving those towels. 1-2 to Marsh. Clock winding down. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there, strike 3 call. He got him with a sinker at 90 miles an hour. And Quintana has his 5th strikeout. So 2 men away, back to the top of the order. And Kyle Schwarber, who has struck out twice. Vientos, the third baseman, far off the line, almost halfway down to second with Schwarber up. And Quintana's first pitch hit him. He came right in and hit him with a changeup in the back. And the Phillies get a 2-out base runner and a dangerous hitter. Trey Turner coming up next.
Well, this has been a season for Quintana where there's one thing that's been a little bit different is that he's hit more batters than he's ever had in his previous 12 years up here. And I think it's just simply how he's trying to attack differently with his stuff and trying to command the inside corner here to a very tough lefty. And he certainly commanded the back of Schwarber's tricep there. But now the Mets get the bullpen up as a base runner reaches. Reed Garrett is starting to throw the righty.
Second time he's been up today, and he was up twice yesterday. So here's Turner now, right-hand batter. And Quintana to the belt. Long set, now the pitch. Swing and a miss, change up away. And the count 0-1. Quintana hit 11 batters during the regular season. That was 5th most in the National League. Just put Schwarber on with 2 out. Alonso holding against him. Vientos deep and near the line at third. The 0-1 pitch. Swing on another foul off to the right of home plate. And Quintana ahead 0-2, and that'll get the crowd re-engaged to their feet, waving the towels. The real flags, the ones atop, in this case I'll describe the left field stands, they're angling in. And you can feel it here in the booth. The breeze blowing in on our faces. 0-2 the count. Quintana holds the set. Now the pitch. Fastball outside. Again, he hit the target. as Alvarez was set up away with the intention of getting Turner to go after the bad ball, but he didn't chase. So 1-2. Taylor a couple steps the other way in center. Quintana ready. Now the 1-2 to Turner. Breaking ball swung out and missed, strike 3. Got him with a curved side, retired. 6 strikeouts for Quintana. No runs, no hits. They hit batsman 1 left, middle of the 5th. Phillies 1, Mets nothing on Odyssey Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealer.
Let's go Mets!
Bigelow Tea can make the second half of this game even better than the first. Hot or over ice, take a moment just for you. Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly.
Rev up the fun with the Honda Civic and HR-V. These vehicles redefine the game when it comes to performance and style. With sporty designs matched by powerful performance, the Civic and HR-V deliver a driving experience like no other. But what really sets these cars apart from the crowd is the spirit of determination that inspires everything we do. That's why we're KBB.com's best value brand of 2024.
Contact your local Honda dealer today.
Based on 2024 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelly Blue Book, visit kbb.com for more information.
When just one life is saved, it wins the game. Just like in baseball, when the same player has 3,000 hits, it's monumental. LifeVac, the original choking rescue device, is approaching 3,000 lives saved. Hi, I'm Arthur Lee, CEO and inventor of LifeVac. With its place, push, pull technology, LifeVac uses suction to clear the airway and save a life. There's only one proven airway clearance device, LifeVac. Mention code BASEBALL for 20% off your order today. Go to lifevac.net.
No one plans on heart problems, but everyone should have a plan for them. At RWJ Barnabas Health, we help patients of all lifestyles and medical histories plan for healthy hearts. With the latest technology and a highly specialized team of nurses, cardiologists, and surgeons, our network offers the most complete heart and vascular care in New Jersey. Make plans for a healthy heart with RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. Visit rwjbh.org/heart.
ThriveWellInfusion.com, New York's premier infusion and injection center, saving lives drip by drip.
Cheers, baseball fans. What a playoffs we have had so far. Every single game has been absolutely awesome to listen to and to hang out with all of you here in the chat. Please take a second to exit out of that chat and hit that thumbs up button and share this link out. That is the best way to get more baseball fans here in the chat. Please hit that thumbs up. We really appreciate it. And let's bring some more people in here. Send this out to the social media boards. Send it out to your friends. Let's have some fun and let's bring more people here to the chat to cheer for your team. Good luck to whatever team it is that you're cheering for. We'll see you guys back in the chat.
Order, the way he struggled in those first 2 innings. The Mets left the bases loaded in the first. Suarez threw 30 pitches in that first inning. They left the bases loaded again in the second. But as we start the 5th, 79 pitches thrown by Suarez facing Francisco Lindor. And the first one is a curve in the dirt, ball 1. It's the Phillies 1, the Mets nothing. The Mets have not had an answer for all of the opportunities they've had. But now Suarez settling in has retired 5 in a row. And the 1-0 to Lindor. Fastball down the middle for a called strike. It's 1-1. Vientos on deck. Nimmo to follow. Phillies have the bullpen up again. They'd had Jeff Hoffman, the righty, up earlier. The 1-1 waved at and missed. He chased that curve away. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. And as they get deeper into this game, the Phillies can now adopt the mindset that, well, wait a minute, Hoffman's been really valuable late in games. He's essentially been an 8th inning guy for them. 1-2 the count. Now the pitch. Lindor pulls it towards third, fair ball. Base hit going down the line towards the left field corner. Lindor on his way to second. Wilson stumbles in the corner, holds onto the ball now, and then just flings it into third, and Lindor stays at second with a leadoff double. Well, for a moment, it appeared that Weston Wilson was going to lose total control as he tried to control that carom in the left field corner. But obviously, Lindor picking up his third base coach, Mike Sarbaugh, not in position to take a chance on third base with nobody out. So he's at second. The Mets have a leadoff double from Lindor.
Lindor and Mark Vientos coming up.
And once again, with 2 strikes, Suarez tries a curveball that is inches from the dirt. Lindor goes down and makes contact with it and just tucked it fair inside that third base bag.
Here's Vientos. He is 2 for 2. First pitch to him is taken on the outside corner, a curve, 0-1. Mark in the postseason is now 12 for 26. He is 9 for 14 in this series. He no doubt has that error on his mind, which allowed the only run of the game to this point to score. And the 0-1 is a curve in the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike. And yet, despite the flexibility as we get into the middle innings that Phillies manager Rob Thompson has with a 1-0 lead, it is Hoffman who is back up in the Phillies bullpen.
He's been up since the second inning. Been throwing all night.
1-1 the count. The pitch to Vientos, swing and a miss as he chased a changeup away, and the count 1-2. And it seems like the Mets have chased more and full marks to Ranger Suarez for the great curveball that he's had. I mean, let's make that the headline here. But the sidebar is that the Mets have probably chased against him more than they have perhaps in the entire postseason at this point. Here's the 1-2 to Vientos. In the dirt, the breaking ball down and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And I think Rob Thompson is able to live on the edge himself, not going to the bullpen yet, because the bullpen has been horrible for Philadelphia in this series.
And yet it was such a strength of theirs
Absolutely.
during the regular season.
13 runs in 9 innings, so he's going to stick with Suarez, even though Ranger has been on and off tonight.
This is more the first half Suarez than the second half as Ranger takes a disengagement, stepping off the rubber. As we mentioned, Suarez, an all-star, 10-2, 2.27 over his first 17 starts, but then 2-6, 6.04, and the 10 starts thereafter, owing in part to some back problems. 2-2 to Vientos. Here's the pitch. High with a fastball, ball 3. Brandon Nimmo, a left-hand batter on deck, and then you get into right-hand batters for the Mets, so it may be that Suarez has Vientos and then Nimmo, and then perhaps Hoffman. 3-2, now the pitch to Vientos. Breaking ball swung on and fouled. He just barely got a piece of it. Same thing.
Suarez threw it for a strike this time. It would have been in the zone at the knees outside corner. But more than that, Vientos is flailing, leaning way out in front. Pitch still did what Suarez wanted it to do.
So 3-2 the count. Lindor leading from second. Here's the pitch. Swing on another foul going to the backstop. The Phillies won, the Mets nothing. The Mets have out-hit the Phillies 5-1. As we mentioned, 1 for 5 to this point with men in scoring position. That all came in the first 2 innings, leaving 6 aboard, 3 in each of the first 2. Here's the payoff pitch. Outside ball 4. Vientos fouled a couple of close ones off and then takes the curve for a walk. And the Mets have first and second, nobody out. Brandon Nimmo, the batter. It was Nimmo who hit with the bases loaded, 2 out on the second and bounced out to first.
I tell you, this has got to be it. Lefty-lefty, which favors Suarez, and this matchup lifetime has favored Suarez. But if Nimmo continues this, they have to go to the bullpen and Jeff Hoffman. They have to.
Sure would think so. That's the 4th walk allowed by Suarez. Mets baseball is brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Contact a dealer for a great deal today or visit tryhondadealers.com. So here is Nimmo. 1-0 Phillies. Lindor at second, Vientos at first, nobody out in the 5th. First pitch, fastball in tight, ball 1. So Suarez now at 92 pitches and undoubtedly facing his last hitter, or as close to undoubtedly as you could put it without being the one who makes the decision. Bohm is even with the bag at third. The outfield is straight away. The 1-0 pitch. In for a call strike, a sinker. It's 1-1. I mean, this is excruciating in terms of what it's taking for the Mets to get anything done against Suarez, who has given them so many chances but keeps slamming the door in their faces. 1-1 now the pitch. Swinging a little pop-up foul outside third. Bohm giving chase near the dugout. It's on the dugout roof, and it doesn't count when you play the carom cleanly, as Bohm did with his bare hand. Just a foul ball, but now a ball and 2 strikes.
Ground rules, house rules, it's not going to count.
Nope.
Not on this block.
94 pitches thrown by Suarez to this point. Bohm is backed up a bit at third now. Middle infield back in double play depth. Nimmo hit it on the ground last time. That's what Suarez wants here. The 1-2 pitch. Check swing. Breaking ball in the dirt. Actually a changeup. And it's 2-2. Some of these pitches are tough to spit on. Nimmo just did there. Pete Alonso waiting on deck. This crowd waiting to let loose. And they haven't had the chance. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a drive deep to right. It's going to hook foul, I believe. He got out in front of it, got it elevated deep and into the corner down the right field line. Nimmo gave it a ride. Remember how many times late in the regular season Nimmo flirted with long home runs into the Coca-Cola corner? That one wasn't as far.
Wanted to build a higher pole. Well, this time around, maybe he wants to build that pole toward the concession stand.
2-2. Here's the pitch. Fastball in there, strike three called. He got him at the knees. Nimmo caught looking one man away, and that's going to be the last pitch thrown by Rangers Suarez. And what he has done to this point, tantalizing the Mets with opportunity, has been equally, if not more so, frustrating and somehow satisfying to the guy who's going to take the ball from him now, Rob Thompson, and give it to Jeff Hoffman. This pitching change is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play the newest scratch-off games for a chance to win. If you heat your home with oil, you must hear this message. Low-price home heating oil is now available to all our Mets Radio listeners at a fixed price that can save you hundreds of dollars a year on your home heating bill. If you think you're paying too much to heat your home, then pick up your phone, dial 866-OIL-DEAL right now to see how much you can save on heating oil. The Home Heating Oil Service Center is staffed 24/7, and mechanics are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to ensure your family is never left in the cold. Just dial 866-OIL-DEAL. That's 866-OIL-DEAL. The heating oil line is now open for Mets Radio listeners. Think you're paying too much for your home heating oil or service? Call the Home Heating Oil line now to see how much you can save off your home heating costs. Don't wait. There is no reason to pay too much for home heating oil. You can get the best service, 24-hour mechanics, and a low flat rate for this home heating season, guaranteed. So call now. Dial 866-OIL-DEAL. That's 866-OIL-DEAL.
New Jersey might be small, but there's a lot of wow packed into this little state. We got your down at the beach wows, your top of the mountain wows, your show-stopping wows, your cork-popping wows. New Jersey, it's one wow after another after another. Find your wow at visitnj.org. New Jersey, little state, lot of wow.
Well, Jeff Hoffman takes over on the mound as Ranger Suarez somehow made it through 4 1/3 innings. Nearly 100 pitches without allowing a run to this point. Now he's responsible for Lindor at second, Vientos at first. There's one out with the Phillies leading the Mets 1-0 here on the bottom of the 5th inning in what for the Phillies is an elimination game. Mets have been so frustrated by curveballs from Suarez in particular. Will now try their luck against Jeff Hoffman, who was part of a terrific late innings relief corps for the Phillies this year. But Hoffman got into the opener of this series in Philadelphia, faced 3 batters on Saturday, gave up the lead, wound up the losing pitcher, 2 hits and a walk. He's facing Pete Alonso. And the first pitch, fastball foul back to the screen, 0-1. And that's 97 with sink. And that's a different look than what they saw from Ranger Suarez. Never mind the fact that Hoffman is right-handed and Suarez left-handed. So Alonso has singled, infield hit, and walked. Lindor at second, Vientos at first, the 0-1. Swing on a foul ball rolling over by the Mets dugout on the first base side. And Hoffman quickly ahead here, 0-2. The thing of it is with Jeff Hoffman, sometimes guys find roles that make them very valuable when it was not the role they were predicted to have had as big leaguers. And Hoffman's one of those. 0-2 now the pitch. Breaking ball outside, 1-2. He was drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays, even though He had just had Tommy John surgery, but that's how highly thought of he was when he was drafted. First-round pick, was supposed to be a starting pitcher, and the Blue Jays thought he'd be a stud. Well, he never really broke through as a starter, but he's found his way into a very dependable late-inning role with the Phillies. Something like what Michael Kopech has done with the Dodgers, originally with the White Sox. But right now, the Phillies leading 1-0 here in the fifth. Lindor at second, Vientos at first. One out. Hoffman ready. Long set. Still holding. Now the pitch. In there, strike three called. He slipped a slider over the inside edge, and there are 2 men away.
I really think there, as the clock was going down and Hoffman was looking at Lindor, and Lindor took an extra bounce. I think Pete got maybe a little messed up by that rhythm. It was a little off. That's exactly what Hoffman wanted. It was a change of cadence as a pitcher out of the stretch with guys on, and just fooled Pete. Had him off balance and shaking his head.
So they were first and second, no out. Now they're there with 2 out, and here's Iglesias. First pitch, swing and a miss. Chasing again, slider away. He has struck out twice in this game, and he struck out against a guy that he'd been 6 for 8 against coming in, Ranger Suarez. But Iglesias chasing more lately than we've seen the rest of the year, and never more so than in that first inning when he batted with the bases loaded, 1 out, and struck out 1, 2, 3, chasing. 0-1. Now the pitch. High with a fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. J.D. Martinez waiting on deck. Bohm is deep at third. Marsh couple of steps the other way in center. 1-1. Lindor bouncing around again. Hoffman deals. Swinging a little number out in front of the plate towards the mound. Real Muto has it. Fires to first in time to get Iglesias. Side retired, and the immense frustration felt by these fans as the New York Mets once again have a great opportunity and come up with nothing. Lead-off double, a walk, and then 2 strikeouts and a ground out. And at the end of 5, it remains the Phillies 1, the Mets nothing on Odyssey Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Let's go Mets!
Are you SiriusXM presents a brand new exclusive show with former UN ambassador, governor, and presidential candidate Nikki Haley on Nikki Haley Live.
Join me on Nikki Haley Live, a show where we talk about facts, policies that affect your family, stories from the campaign trail,
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you, the one that's listening to the MLB playoffs with us. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Please take a second to hit that subscribe button. Have you not subscribed yet? You're listening to all these MLB playoff games. Look at all the people that we have here in the chat. Please take a second and hit that subscribe button to help our Toronto sports community grow so we can continue to bring more and more sports out to you, the fans. Thank you again so much for being here. We really appreciate you helping this community grow. Now let's get back to the baseball. Good luck to your team. Let's have a great time and keep it classy in the chat. Cheers, everybody.
Your place for sports talk is Mad Dog Sports Radio, where your voice is heard all day long.
I couldn't wait to get into the truck, turn on 82.
Share the thrill of victory.
The joy, the jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888-MAD-DOG-6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the Sirius XM app.
After the game, join us on MLB Network Radio. We're talking baseball with you all season long on Sirius XM Channel 89 and the Sirius XM app.
Mets fans, no matter where you are, you won't miss a pitch with the Sirius XM app.
You're listening to the National League Division Series on Sirius XM. Join us after the game on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89.
With you at Citi Field as the frustration grows for the New York Mets and this packed house of somewhere in the neighborhood of 44,000, with the Phillies leading 1-0 going to the 6th inning. Mets have left 8 men on board. They are 1 for 8 through 5 innings with men in scoring position. And you wonder how profoundly it might come back to bite them. So far, it's just been 1 unearned run against Jose Quintana. That came in the 4th inning, and it was scored by Bryce Harper, who drew a 1-out walk in that inning. In fact, I have the exact crowd figure courtesy of Mr. Majkowski, and it's just about what we told you. But first, here is the first pitch to Harper. Swung on and fouled back to the screen, 0-1. The paid crowd, 44,103. I don't know what the gills are, but they're packed to him. 0-1 the count to Harper. He also struck out in the first inning. Quintana's only allowed one hit, and that was to the on-deck hitter, Nick Castellanos. Now the 0-1 pitch. Fastball outside, I guess.
Looked like a good pitch.
Well, James Hoy thought otherwise. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Harper, feet spread wide apart. Quintana basically straddles the rubber. Now delivers 1-1 and missed upstairs with a sinker. 2-1 to Harper. Reed Garrett and David Peterson are up in the Mets bullpen. Mets would prefer, in a perfect world, not to have to use Peterson mid-inning. Here's the 2-1. Harper lines one to right. That's going to be in for a hit, and it's headed towards the wall. Marte on the run, picks up the carom on the warning track. Harper to second, and he'll pull in there standing with a leadoff double. Bryce Harper, who hit it hard, gives the Phillies a man in scoring position, and that's going to be it for Jose Quintana. Carlos Mendoza is on his way to the mound, and I would imagine he's going to go to Garrett here with right-handers due up for the Phillies. This pitching change is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play the newest scratch-off games for a chance to win.
No matter where you're rooting for the Mets this postseason, 10-1 Rum wants you to elevate your game day lineup with 9 Mets-inspired cocktails. Winning requires doing things a little differently, so explore the unexpected because a world of amazing experiences awaits with 10-1 Rum. Celebrate the joy of discovery with 10-1 Rum this season. From 10-1 Rum's 8-6 Old Fashioned to the amazing daiquiri, there's a drink for every fan and every occasion. 10-1 Rum, a proud partner of the New York Mets.
Kickboxing knock out your knee? We've got specialists for that. Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has the specialized expertise, extensive training from the nation's best programs, and years of experience to tackle each of your orthopedic needs so you can feel better, faster. Locations across Long Island, open 7 days a week, and now open in Kew Gardens as well. Visit OrlandCohen.com.
Total Orthopedics is Long Island's premier orthopedic practice. Whether it's a sports-related injury or something far more complex, Total Ortho has locations throughout Long Island with diagnostic equipment on site. Now, Total Ortho Express offers convenient walk-in service with no appointment necessary. Visit TotalOrthoExpress.com. That's TotalOrthoExpress.com, because time doesn't heal wounds, they do.
Well, Reed Garrett will be the new pitcher for the Mets, who are trailing the Phillies 1-0 in the 6th inning. And Garrett's going to have his hands full because Bryce Harper just led off with a double on the final pitch thrown by Jose Quintana, who goes 5+, allowing just 2 hits. To this point, 1 unearned run, but he's responsible for Harper at second. 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, and a hit batsman. So Nick Castellanos, who doubled for the only other Phillies hit, will be coming up here. The injury update brought to you by the Rothenberg Law Firm. If you're injured in an accident, the game plan is simple. Just go to injurylawyer.com. Nothing new on the Mets' attempts to get Jeff McNeil a few swings in the Arizona Fall League, but his status up in the air for any future postseason series this year. Castellanos also fouled out along with that double. And Garrett, the winning pitcher in Game 1, delivers. Swing and a miss at the split, 0-1. Garrett pitched 2 scoreless innings on Saturday. And was the beneficiary as the Mets broke through in the 8th inning with a 5-run inning to take the lead. Jeff Hoffman, who's in the game now for the Phillies, wound up the losing pitcher. 0-1 the count. Garrett sets. Harper bouncing off of second. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Outside, broke a nice play on the backhand on the breaking ball by Francisco Alvarez. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Didn't matter if he had the one leg out to the right or he was in the crouch. That was all hands right there for Alvarez.
1-1.
Iglesias trying to keep Harper close at second. And Iglesias will drop back into position as Garrett delivers. And it's fouled straight down at home plate, so another split. And the count 1-2 with Alec Bohm on deck to main JT Real Muto. All three of them, including Castellanos, right-hand batters. Mets fans, when it comes to heating efficiency, Peerless Boilers and Pavilion Tankless Water Heaters are in a league of their own. So go to peerlessboilers.com for more info. And remember, Peerless Boilers are the world's best-built boilers. 1-2. Towels waving, maybe not as vigorously as they were earlier. 1-2 to Castellanos. Garrett holds the set. Harper moving off second. The pitch. Breaking ball outside. He went with a sweeper. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. The former Tiger, Red, Cub, Nick Castellanos. Another outspoken guy, colorful player. And now Garrett steps off. So Reed Garrett ready to go again with a count 2-2 on Castellanos. Vientos very deep at third. Harper way off the bag, and the pitch is split in the dirt. 3-2.
Well, Harper was going to go there. He had such a big jump. Now Vientos is playing back, and Harper knows he's a valuable run, but if you could take 90 feet, you'll take 90 feet. I was surprised. You probably would have been there pretty easily.
It's risky with nobody out, of course.
Definitely.
Vientos aware, but still deep, which gives Harper the chance for a huge head start. Iglesias trying to keep him close. Garrett ready. Now the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a split. 1 man away.
It's a good pitch right there from Reed Garrett. I'll tell you, Castellanos just didn't believe Garrett was going to throw that again because Reed had spiked so many of them in the dirt. 3-2, you're going to throw that pitch? And he did. Castellanos dropped down to a knee. You could tell he was just mentally beat by that decision by Garrett.
Well, now Alec Bohm, who was grounded to third and reached on a fielder's choice. 1-0 Phillies. Harper at second, 1 out. We're in the 6th. Garrett spins, throws to second, and it caroms off of, I believe, first Harper and then Iglesias. I think I might have nailed them both. But in any event, it stayed right on the infield near second base, so Harper stays where he is, and the Mets in some ways pretty fortunate there.
I wouldn't call it the Vientos ball at third that we saw at the end of the regular season here where the ball just bounced up. But tell you what, that throw gets away. That ball's into center field, and Harper is on his way to third. But it did hit him in the back, popped up, hit Iglesias, and well, Jerry's here tonight. One magic loogie.
You bet. He can't come and say hello. What's the matter? So now, Bohm waiting. Garrett with his first pitch. That's a strike at the knees, a cutter. And the count, 0-1. Jerry Seinfeld, as you know, a huge Mets fan. Has a suite here. He's joined us in the booth on a couple of occasions. 0-1 to Bohm. The outfield around towards right. Again, Harper dashes off a second, now cuts back, and the pitch to Bohm is inside. A split in the count, 1-1. That time, Harper was moving back towards second base as Garrett delivered the ball. Well, Garrett working very hard here, trying to keep this a 1-0 ball game. Phillies out in front. Big gap in left center and down the left field line, too. 1-1, the pitch to Bohm. Low and away with a sinker. Ball 2. Well, Garrett has thrown 9 pitches. 5 of them have been out of the strike zone. But he did manage to strike out Castellanos. He's behind a good RBI guy here. Alec Bohm, 2-1. Garrett delivers. And it missed inside, a split, 3-1. Again, first base is open here. JT Real Muto, and the right-hand batter, is on deck. At times, hitters this year finally made an adjustment where they just basically spit on the splitter. Early throw here behind 3-1. Bohm waiting, Garrett delivers. Swing and a miss at a sweeper.
Swung at ball 4.
Down and away out of the strike zone. Now the fans with a little more oomph behind their towel waving. As now there's one out, and Harper at second. 1-0 Phillies in the sixth. Garrett sets. 3-2 to Bohm. Here's the pitch. Outside ball 4. He went with a split and missed badly. It was not close. Missing down and away. The Phillies now have runners at first and second. Jeremy Hefner on his way to the mound. Garrett has to face one more batter here. That's Real Muto. And then Bryson Stott, a left-hand batter, due up. And David Peterson has had a lot of time to throw. Should be ready now if the Mets want to go to him in the bullpen after Real Muto.
Now, all of a sudden, David Peterson, his name has popped up as a very important high-leverage arm. And the reason for that is because the Mets have not really trusted Danny Young. And we say that because we haven't even seen Young in this series. He's the only lefty out there, lefty reliever. And so David Peterson, who was really good down in Philadelphia, pitching in relief in Game 1, feels that he may be the guy to get out of trouble should that arise, and he seems to be ready for the guy on deck.
Might have been a totally different situation had Kodai Senga not been ready to go. And again, there's every possibility if this goes to a fifth and deciding game Friday that Senga, just as he did in Game 1, would start. So here is Real Muto. Outfield around towards right against the right-hand batter. Garrett's first pitch. Spins in for a called strike, a cutter. And it's 0-1. Real Muto has walked, flied to right, so he's 0 for 10 in the series. Oh, would Garrett love an infield ground ball here. See if he can get 2 and get out of this inning where it is at 1-0 Phillies. One out, runners lead second and first. The 0-1. Down and in with a sinker. So 1-1 to the Phillies catcher, JT Real Muto. Missed a little time late in the year with a knee problem. Garrett Stubbs, a left-hand hitter, is the backup to Real Muto. 1-1 to JT, former Marlin. Garrett delivers and misses low and away with a sinker, ball 2. It's not been put in play yet against Garrett. Struck out Castellanos, walked Bohm. And if the fielders are not as locked in, pre-pitch and all pitch as ever, it's got nothing to do with the ball not being in play. There's something else going on if that's the case. Here's the 2-1. That's in for a called strike, a cutter. And it's 2-2.
That's funny. It's 16 pitches for Garrett. It feels like this top of the 6th has lasted for an eternity right now. Every single pitch so important after that leadoff double by Harper.
They last a little longer even if he gets Real Muto with Peterson ready in the bullpen. And left-hand hitting Bryson Stott due up next, and now Garrett steps off. The right-handed options off the bench, if the Phillies would make a move, would be Hayes, Rojas, and Sosa. And I would imagine Stott would stay in there, but that's for later. Right now, it's 2-2 to Real Muto. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul. He just did get a piece of a split. And again, second was huge. Not that he was going towards third, but he was probably at least a third of the way down there as that pitch was being delivered. So 2-2 to Real Muto as the tension builds. And nervousness exemplified by less than full decibel voices. Chanting nonetheless. 2-2 to Real Muto. Garrett delivers. Swing and a foul into the mid of Alvarez, strike 3. It's been a project for Reed Garrett, but I think he's done after 3 batters. Strikeout, walk, strikeout, and with 2 men out, runners at first and second, and the Phillies leading 1-0. David Peterson will come on, and this pitching change is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play the newest scratch-off games for a chance to win.
Are you or a loved one living with Crohn's, colitis, MS, rheumatoid arthritis, or a chronic health condition that requires IV medication? Check out ThriveWell Infusion. Say hello to state-of-the-art private luxury suites. ThriveWell Infusion understands that it can be stressful when receiving an infusion, but it doesn't have to be. At ThriveWell, you'll be provided with exceptional care, comfort, compassion, and convenience. Visit us at ThriveWellInfusion.com. That's ThriveWellInfusion.com. Saving lives, drip by drip.
Whatever your cancer journey, there's one place in New Jersey where our discoveries become your care. You have access to advanced clinical trials thanks to our renowned scientists and multidisciplinary care teams at New Jersey's only NCI-designated comprehensive cancer center, the one world-class cancer program that's close to home. RWJ Barnabas Health and Rutgers Cancer Institute of New Jersey. Let's beat cancer together. Visit rwjbh.org/beatcancer.
New Jersey might be small, but there's a lot of wow packed into this little state. We got your down at the beach wows, your top of the mountain wows, your show-stopping wows, your cork-popping wows. New Jersey, it's one wow after another after another. Find your wow at visitnj.org. New Jersey, little state, lot of wow.
Well, here in the top of the sixth inning, Bryce Harper doubled the lead off. That was it for Jose Quintana. Reed Garrett came in. He struck out Castellanos, walked Bohm, struck out Real Muto, so having fulfilled his three-batter mandate, he is out of the game, and now David Peterson will come on. So it'll be David's third appearance in relief during the postseason. He actually was the winning pitcher in the game that the Mets clinched the wild card series as he worked the ninth inning after the Mets had that 4-run top of the ninth. Wound up winning 4-2. And then Peterson actually worked behind Kodai Senga, who was effectively the opener in game one of this series. Peterson went 3 innings. That was on Saturday. So he's working on 3 days rest here after beginning an inning twice out of the bullpen. Now he comes on mid-inning, a different thing for him, facing Bryson Stott, left-hand batter. And the first pitch, fastball is low, ball 1. And David going right to his ear because he might indicate either a malfunction or I think it's just a matter of adjusting it so that he can hear properly because he's ready to go. Runners lead second and first, 2 out. The 1-0 taken low, 2 balls and no strikes. It sure seemed as though he had ample time to warm up based on what relief pitchers generally need. But this is different for Peterson. Different routine when he's coming in during an inning rather at the start of one. 2-0 to Stott. The pitch. Swinging a bouncing ball up the first base line. It's a fair ball. Fielded by Alonso. Steps on the backside. Retired. Peterson gets the 3rd out. And the Phillies strand 2 in the 6th after Harper's leadoff double. 1 hit. 2 left. Middle of the 6th in an excruciating baseball game. It's the Phillies 1, the Mets nothing on Odyssey Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Let's go Mets!
Wow! What a division series we have had so far, and it continues on. Please take a second to check that link that is pinned in the chat. Go check out our campaign page. We're running a campaign for Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto as part of their Create 100K donation drive. We have opened it up for the MLB playoffs and NHL opening night. Thank you so much for clicking that link. A portion of our proceeds goes donated every single month to Sick Kids Hospital. So just by being here, you're making a difference in our community. Please take a second. If you see an ad that catches your interest, please click it and support the advertisers here on YouTube. As well, you can support our channel with sending in super chats or by sharing this link out. That's the number one. The more you guys can get this Sick Kids campaign link out, the better. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Let's make a big difference and raise a bunch of money for our community. Let's get back to the baseball. Good luck to your team.
Transportation, water, or energy projects, ELEC and the Operating Engineers 825 are ready to get to work building our bounce back. By now, you should know I can't get my game day started without my mug of my favorite Bigelow tea. For me, it's that smooth Bigelow green tea that tastes great and keeps my voice in peak condition, especially in extra innings. And I definitely need the English tea time for that day game after a night game. No matter how hectic your day gets, grab your favorite Bigelow tea and take a moment just for you. Join the millions of Mets fans that make Bigelow #1 in New York. Bigelow Tea, the official tea of Odyssey Mets Radio. Well, we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. I've used the word excruciating to describe this game a couple of times. The Phillies have a 1-0 lead over the Mets. The Mets are 2 for 10 with men in scoring position through 5 innings. 2 for 10 through 5 innings, and one of those hits did not drive in a run, obviously, because the Mets are trailing 1-0, but that was an infield hit by Pete Alonso in the 1st inning where Alec Boehm actually made a play towards a runner at third and then threw 2 late to first. The Phillies, on the other hand, are 0 for 6 with men in scoring position, and their only run unearned because of a Mark Vientos error. This is one of those games. Hardly a textbook game, but it's brought to you by Malloy University, and Malloy will think about your future in a new way. J.D. Martinez leads off against Jeff Hoffman. And the first pitch on the way, a fastball fouled straight back. And the count 0-1. Consider a couple of things here. The Mets have lost each of the last 4 potential postseason clinchers at home since Game 7 of the 2006 National League Championship Series at Shea Stadium. You know how that ended, right? The 0-1 on the way, taken high, 1-1. Yes, that was Carlos Beltran taking strike 3 against Adam Wainwright, both of whom are here today. In fact, Wainwright and Carlos Beltran have become very good friends. They're close. That happened when Beltran became a Cardinal. The 1-1 to Martinez, lined up the middle, base hit past the diving stock, going into center field. J.D. Martinez leads off the bottom of the 6th with the Mets' 5th hit of the game, and it'll bring up Starling Marte on his 36th birthday. And the other thing about that Beltran-Wainwright relationship, after Wainwright got Beltran looking at that famous curveball to end the 2006 National League Championship Series, a few years later, the Cardinals signed Beltran. And Adam Wainwright called Carlos and said, well, how do you want to handle it? Because you know we're going to get a lot of questions here. Here's Marte, first pitch, swing and a miss at a slider, 0-1. And Carlos said, hey, look, you know, all the credit to you. You threw a great pitch. You did your job. I didn't do mine. That's it. Let's move on. And not only did they move on, they became close friends. 0-1 to Marte. Hoffman deals in the dirt, gets away from Real Muto. Goes to the backstop. Martinez to second. And here we go again. Runner at second base. Nobody out.
Tell you what, Rob Thompson again, the reason why he kept Suarez in the game so long is eventually Rangers Suarez settled in late after a lot of early traffic. But he again had Jeff Hoffman up in the 2nd inning. The Philly bullpen has just lost the trust of Rob Thompson. He didn't know where to go right now. Now Hoffman right now, man, tying run at second base. And then the Mets side, you've got to drive the run in this inning now.
44,103 kingdoms for a big hit. 1-1 to Marte. Hoffman delivers, and it's bunted hard towards third, but it goes foul. Now, Boehm was playing back, and Marte thought maybe he could take advantage. And remember, Boehm has been indecisive a couple of times on plays at third base in this game. And Marte looking to exploit all of that, just bunted it foul, and now finds himself behind in the count, 1-2. He was not giving himself up there, I don't think.
No, he was in Phillies, I'm sure.
You're not giving up an out here. Nobody out, 1-2 to Marte. Martinez leads from second. He's not fast. And the 1-2 pitch, low and away, ball 2. Tyrone Taylor on deck, then Francisco Alvarez, both right-handed batters. Nobody throwing in the Phillies bullpen, nor the Mets pen for that matter. 2-2 to Marte. Had a huge hit yesterday. Does he have another one in him tonight? Hoffman ready. Here's the 2-2. Swing on a foul down the right field side, out of play downstairs. Marte fighting against Jeff Hoffman, now 31 years old, from Latham, New York. Mentioned the Blue Jays, made him a first-round pick, bounced around a bit, went to the Rockies and the Reds, but he's found a home with the Phillies. 2-2 to Marte. Hoffman sets. The pitch, inside and hit him. Starling Marte has been hit by a slider. And the Mets have runners at first and second, nobody out. I guess Marte will take that behind in the count. And so now, Tyrone Taylor will be the batter as Carlos Mendoza flashes signs to third base coach Mike Sarbaugh.
You know, the Phillies bullpen, their problem early in the series was they got hitters to 2 strikes. Remember, we noticed the Mets just kept getting hits with 2 strikes because the Phillies wouldn't expand the zone, wouldn't force the Mets to chase. Well, Hoffman, he gets marked at 2 strikes and tries to expand the zone and misses way too far inside. They don't know where to put the ball at 2 strikes now.
Well, Taylor is a guy who does expand the zone, as you know, a very aggressive hitter. He's 1 for 2. He has basically been slumping, though. First pitch pulled on the ground towards third. It is a foul ball. Oh, boy. Right down the line. I don't know. From here, it looked like it might have gone over that bag fair.
I think it started foul and then went back what looked like fair and almost like a screwball. Wow, right over the line to the outside of the chalk.
Yep, foul ball.
John Tempane right there wound up and pointed emphatically toward that third base side. Man, that ball had action to it, had English on it. That's why it was so nerve-wracking there.
Oh, so that's why this is so nerve-wracking.
So one of the main reasons, one of the many in this moment right now.
That just adds to it. It's getting to the point of being numb. I mean, how many chances can you have? 2 for 10 with men in scoring position. Here they are once more. First and second, nobody out. Phillies 1, Mets nothing, bottom 6. 0-1 to Tyrone Taylor, the outfield around towards right. Bohm does not yield too much of that line at third. He's even with a bag. Hoffman holds the set at the waist. The pitch. Check swing. The pitch up and in. Did he go? No, according to Carlos Torres at first. And the count 1-1. Almost sounds like an air pump with everybody trying to find the air in their lungs right now. 1-1 to Taylor. Hoffman sets now the pitch. He holds the swing at a breaking ball away. He started those hands but clearly held back. And it's 2-1. Sometimes that's not easy for Taylor, who again is a very aggressive hitter.
So it makes him so good when he does find a fastball like he did his first time up. A base hit back in the second inning on a heater.
2-1 to Taylor. Hoffman sets. Here's the pitch. Outside it goes to the backstop. Bounces away from Real Muto. Both runners move up. 3-1 to Taylor. Second and third, nobody out.
You just don't see games like this. The Mets are once again, they're ball 4 away from bases loaded again. How many times do you get a chance like that in the playoffs? They've already had one in the first and in the second. Another golden opportunity here in the 6th. But again, they have no runs yet. Still opportunities present themselves.
The Phillies closer, Carlos Estevez, is in the bullpen. The Phillies infield is up. Not all the way, but about 3/4. The 3-1 to Taylor. Swing and a grounder foul by the Phillies dugout. It's 3-2. Hoffman now at 21 pitches. Now we're getting to the point where if you're invested in this emotionally, this is stinking torture.
Yes, it is.
I mean, let's lay it on the table here. 3-2 to Taylor. Hoffman delivers. Swing and a chopper foul off his leg. Mets have had chance after chance in this game. They have out-hit the Phillies 6-2. The Phillies on an unearned run lead 1-0. And again, the closer for the Phillies, Carlos Estevez, is throwing in their bullpen.
Hoffman, who faced 2 batters in the 5th, has more than seen the minimum, so this very well could be the last batter.
That's with 3 swingers here, though, and Taylor and then Alvarez. 3-2 to Taylor. Hoffman deals. Outside, ball 4. The bases are loaded with nobody out. And what to do if you're Rob Thompson? Francisco Alvarez will be the batter. And how much more can you take?
Sure, if Rob Thompson could, he'd say, hey, Ranger, can you come back into the game like you got out of those situations in the first and second? And a body does emerge out of the third base dugout. It's not Rob Thompson, but the pitching coach, Caleb Cottom, coming out to talk to everybody on the infield mound.
Well, again, you've got a free swinger in Francisco Alvarez coming up, who has struck out and flied to center. Then Lindor, then Vientos. We'll pause here for station identification.
This is Odyssey Mets Radio.
You're listening to the National League Division Series on SiriusXM. Join us after the game on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89.
And with you at Citi Field, Game 4 of the National League Division Series. The Mets lead 2-1. The Phillies lead right here 1-0. But the Mets, for the third time in this game, have the bases loaded. They left them that way in the first. They left them that way in the second. And now here they are once more. And this is the first time that they've had the bases loaded with nobody out. So, Francisco Alvarez, who's got to stay under control in this plate appearance. He does chase. The infield is in. The first pitch. Breaking ball is high. Ball one. And Hoffman kind of snapped his arm in frustration after his follow-through. That pitch did not wind up where he wanted it. Alvarez in the postseason just 4 for 24. Outfield around towards right. They're fairly deep. 1-0 now the pitch. Check swing, did he go? He did at first base. Carlos Torres charges strike one. And that's what we're talking about with Alvarez. That pitch was out of the strike zone. He started the hands. By the time he tried to pull back, it was too late.
He certainly went around. That was more than a swing for Alvarez. Hard to even make that a close call.
1-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Sinker low inside. Ball two. Martinez is the runner at third. He's not fast. Marte still with reasonably good speed at second. Taylor good speed at first. 2-1 to Alvarez. Hoffman ready. Here's the pitch. Fastball on the outside corner, top of the zone, strike two. 2-2. Hoffman now about to throw his 28th pitch. Nobody out, bases loaded, 1-0 Phillies, bottom six. Hoffman's 2-2 to Alvarez. Breaking ball hit on the ground toward short. Turner up with it. He throws home, gets a force. No return throw by Real Muto. Alvarez to first, and there's one out. And the Mets fail to cash in. Well, Alvarez hit it on the ground, and to some extent you say, well, at least it's only one out. We know one other thing. Carlos Estevez is going to come on in as the Mets now 2 for 11 with men in scoring position. Rob Thompson on his way to the mound. And this pitching change is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play the newest scratch-off games for a chance to win. If you heat your home with oil, you must hear this message. Low-price home heating oil is now available to all our Mets Radio listeners at a fixed price that can save you hundreds of dollars a year.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you, the one that's listening to the MLB playoffs with us. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Please take a second to hit that subscribe button. Have you not subscribed yet? You're listening to all these MLB playoff games. Look at all the people that we have here in the chat. Please take a second and hit that subscribe button to help our Toronto sports community grow so we can continue to bring more and more sports out to you, the fans. Thank you again so much for being here. We really appreciate you helping this community grow. Now let's get back to the baseball. Good luck to your team. Let's have a great time and keep it classy in the chat. Cheers, everybody.
So call now. Dial 866-OIL-DEAL. That's 866-OIL-DEAL.
No matter where you're rooting for the Mets this postseason, 10-to-1 lineup with 9 Mets-inspired cocktails. Winning requires doing things a little differently, so explore the unexpected because a world of amazing experiences awaits with 10-to-1 rum. Celebrate the joy of discovery with 10-to-1 rum this season. From 10-to-1 rums, 8-6 old-fashioned to the amazing daiquiri, there's a drink for every fan and every occasion. 10-to-1 rum, a proud partner of the New York Mets.
Well, Carlos Estevez is the Phillies closer. He's coming on here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Mets had the bases loaded. Nobody out. Francisco Alvarez tapped into a fielder's choice. Shortstop Turner to the plate for the force. And so now it'll be the top of the order for the Mets. And Francisco Lindor to bat with the bases loaded. Now, yesterday, Estevez threw 26 pitches, working 1 inning. And I don't know whether or not there could be any carryover from that today. That was kind of a big pitch count in a game that was getting out of hand, with the Mets eventually winning 7-2. And so now Estevez, who was picked up from the Angels during the season, took over the closer's role. Well, this is an assignment that he normally wouldn't get in the 6th inning, but for the Phillies, not a normal game. It's an elimination game for them. They've lost 4 in a row of those. And Lindor, I believe, called time. And so he's already used his timeout. Estevez, a 31-year-old, hard-throwing right-hander out of the Dominican Republic. The infield is in, all the way in, all 4 of them. Lindor 1 for 3. He's batting left-handed. The first pitch, outside, ball 1.
Well, lifetime for Lindor. He's seen Estevez across the last few years. Just 0 for 4 with the strikeouts. So a little sample size, but Estevez has won it all 4 times.
Turner and Stott up the middle around the infield grass. And the 1-0 swung on and missed. A 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and the count 1-1. Quite simply, Carlos Estevez at this point is being asked to save the Phillies season. It's the 6th inning, and the Mets trying to break through desperately. The 1-1 up and in, ball 2. They are 2 for 11 in this game with men in scoring position. The outfield is straight away. Bohm is even with a bag at third, so Marte can't get much of a lead down the line. 2-1 to Lindor. Now the pitch. Swinging a drive towards the gap in right center. It's pretty deep. It's back near the wall. It's gone. It's gone. Francisco Lindor. He may have just outdone himself. He has hit a grand slam into the Phillies bullpen in right center field. The Mets are leading by a score of 4-1. They were famished for the big hit all night, and Francisco Lindor just provided a feast. Mets 4, Phillies 1 here in the 6th inning.
Now you can feel the energy of this place. They were waiting, standing since the 1st inning when the Mets had the bases loaded. And finally, the dam bursts here for this fan base in the 6th.
Mike Chan MVP all night. And it may not make a dent in the voting process, but who cares? Francisco Lindor has done what no Met has been able to do tonight, and that is find the big hit. A lot of game to go. We're in the 6th inning, but that big hit had been so elusive, and they do it against the Phillies closer. Carlos Estevez, 4-1 New York.
That's the 2nd ever postseason grand slam by a Met. Fonzie had one way back when in '99 against Arizona, and we just saw a 2nd one from Lindor.
Here is Mark Vientos, right-hand batter. Estevez delivers and hits the outside corner with a slider, strike 1. Well, for Lindor, it is his first home run of the postseason. And now it's in that discussion we've been having again. The 0-1 to Vientos fouled back 0-2. I mean, I don't know where this game will end and where the season will end, and where Lindor's heroics will end. But it's right up there when you think of his biggest and the Mets' biggest as a franchise. And the 0-2 swung on and missed, strike 3. Vientos chasing a fastball up at 99. 2 men away.
And it's still on the flip side. Unbelievable to see this Phillies bullpen, what's become of this. And the strength of this team, guy by guy by guy, you figure, well, hate to see this guy, hate to see that guy, hate to see this guy. And all of them have come undone in this series.
Estevez threw one right down the middle to Lindor. First pitch to Nimmo, taken down and in, ball 1.
Pitch was 99 in and 110 out. Lindor was all over it, right down the middle of the plate.
They're still chanting MVP. The 1-0 taken outside, 2-0. So the Mets with a 4-1 lead here. And David Peterson in the game. Remember, he's on 3 days rest, having pitched in relief in game 1 of this series. 2-0 to Nimmo. Swing and a miss at a hard slider down and in. And it's 2-1. Well, when Alvarez bounced into that fielder's choice and they got the force at the plate, it was a continuum. And boy, did Lindor put a stop to the story. The 2-1 to Nimmo hit high in the air to shallow center. Stopped the second baseman out. Marsh the center fielder in and makes the one-hand catch. Side retire. The Mets sent 7 men to the plate. They scored 4 runs on 2 hits. No errors. No one left. And at the end of 6, it's the Mets 4, the Phillies 1 on Odyssey. Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Let's go Mets!
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM.
Let's go Mets!
We're back on the track Sunday.
1 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Bank of America Roval 400 from Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the Sirius XM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
Now through November 1st, SiriusXM is giving away a pair of tickets to every MLB postseason game through the World Series. Listen to MLB Network Radio for the clues and be the first caller to correctly name the postseason hero, and you'll receive a pair of tickets to an MLB postseason game. MLB Network Radio has your chance to win on SiriusXM 89 and the all-new...
Cheers, baseball fans. What a playoffs we have had so far. Every single game has been absolutely awesome to listen to and to hang out with all of you here in the chat. Please take a second to exit out of that chat and hit that thumbs up button and share this link out. That is the best way to get more baseball fans here in the chat. Please hit that thumbs up. We really appreciate it, and let's bring some more people in here. Send this out to the social media boards. Send it out to your friends. Let's have some fun, and let's bring more people here to the chat to cheer for your team. Good luck to whatever team it is that you're cheering for. We'll see you guys back in the chat.
NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
SiriusXM NFL Radio is your home for the National Football League all year long on Channel 88 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Francisco Lindor delivering the Mets' first runs of the game. Sponsored by Sloman's Home Security. Real security powered by real people. Sloman's, the difference is human. So, the Mets go to the 7th inning now with that 4-1 lead. And we'll see how far David Peterson can go here. Obviously, it's all contingent upon how effective he is. But I think now they can ride him a little ways here with the Mets leading. And the number 8 hitter, Weston Wilson, up to lead off the 7th inning here, Keith.
You know, the Mets, if they play this right again, the next game they want to play is game 1 of the NLCS, which is days away. They're not really thinking about Friday, which would be game 5 of this series, until they have to. So whatever's working right now for Carlos Mendoza, he'll stick with. Weston Wilson leads off for Philadelphia. 4-1 Mets in the 7th. Pitch. Wilson takes high, a sinker for ball 1. Mets bullpen needs 9 outs. Wilson, Marsh, and the top with Schwarber. Righty, lefty, lefty. They'll wind up the 1-0. Hit hard on the ground to third. Backhand stop by Vientos to his feet. The strong throw picked out by Alonso. What a play. Boy, how many times this year have we seen Alonso? Beautiful backhand picks, and he rescues one from Vientos. A strong throw. 5-3. 1 out in the 7th. Now that's to bring up Brandon Marsh as we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. Mets ahead 4-1. Lefty to lefty, pitch. Marsh shows bunt, pushes right through it and misses. Strike 1. Vientos was crashing in from third. Alonso's playing deep against the lefties, so it really was Vientos' ball. But Marsh just missed the bunt. They'll wind up in the 0-1. Just missed outside. Tried the sinker. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now Peterson got out of what is probably the turning point of this game. That's 6th inning, where the Phillies had 2 on. The 1-1. Marsh hits a ground ball toward the middle. Iglesias to his right. Fields in the backhand. Flips it to Lindor. But Lindor just eats it. And Marsh is safe at first on an infield hit. And as that ball got flipped from Iglesias to Lindor, this loud place was silent for just a split second, thinking, oh my gosh, are we about to see what we're about to see? But
yeah, maybe if Mo Vaughn was running down the line.
Exactly. There's not that much magic in this place these days. So anyway, Marsh's aboard. And we go to the top of the order now for Kyle Schwarber.
He's just the first slow guy I could think of.
Matt just asked Howie, why are you taking a shot at Mo Vaughn? Pitch to Schwarber, swing and a miss. High heat inside corner. The count 0-1. Well, Mo Vaughn, you got to go back to the later days of Shea. You know, it's funny, coming into this series, finding out how tough it is to win at Citizens Bank Park. It's truly one of the hardest places in the playoffs to ever play. 0-1. Schwarber takes down low from Peterson. 1 ball and 1 strike. It's the best of any club with at least 30 games. You got to play a lot of games to kind of qualify for this list. So Citizens Bank Park's number 1. Shea Stadium, number 2. The 1-1 to Schwarber. Bouncing ball to second base. High hop for Iglesias. Throw to second 1. Lindor to first. Double play. 4-6-3. Inning over. David Peterson gets the sinker. Sinks Schwarber and the Phillies in the top of the 7th. The Mets hold a 4-1 lead in Game 4 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. The 7th inning stretch is brought to you by Gin and Juice Ready to Drink Cocktail, a lightly carbonated seltzer, an official partner of the New York Mets.
Looking for a replacement window?
Get the Anderson 400 Series double hung window installed for you by Riverhead Building Supply.
Anderson is the #1 brand for window replacement.
Visit a Riverhead Building Supply showroom or rbscorp.com today.
When just one life is saved, it wins the game. Just like in baseball, when the same player has 3,000 hits, it's monumental. LifeVac, the original choking rescue device, is a...
What's up, baseball fans? How's the game going for your team? A lot of fun here in the chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Please let us know in the chat where you're watching from. Let us know how far our reach is in this world. Where are you watching this game from here on Toronto Sports Insider? Thanks for hanging out with us. Now hit that like button, share it out to your friends, and let's get back to the baseball. Woo! Let's have some fun.
Smash fries, and hand-spun milkshakes. Smashburger, available for dine-in, takeout, or delivery at smashburger.com. Hey, baseball fans, check out ThriveWell Infusion. Trusted choice in IV therapy among physicians to experience high-quality care from the highly trained medical staff at ThriveWell. ThriveWell Infusion understands that it can be stressful when receiving an infusion, but it doesn't have to be when you're in one of their private, state-of-the-art infusion suites. Let ThriveWell handle your infusion needs so you can focus on the game. Visit us at thrivewellinfusion.com. That's thrivewellinfusion.com. Saving lives drip by drip.
Hey, Connecticut, if you want name brand tires at the guaranteed lowest price and the most free services, then get to Town Fair Tire. Because nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
Bottom of the 7th inning at Citi Field, and the potential clincher for the Mets. They lead the series 2-1 of this best of 5, so they need one more win. And the Mets are up 4-1 on Philadelphia. And the offense coming back up here. Alonso, Iglesias, and Martinez against a new pitcher, the right-hander Orion Kerkering. After Carlos Estevez came on for the 6th. He didn't start the inning. Came on a little bit late, faced Lindor, and gave up the grand slam. So Hoffman is charged with 3 runs. Estevez is charged with 1. Of course, the Lindor swing. And it's unbelievable to just see Jeff Hoffman, who's pitched a lot in this series, his ERA in the playoffs, 40.5. And here's Kerkering facing Alonso. Pitch. Bouncing ball pulled down third. Fair ball along the line. Disappearing down into the corner. Alonso around first, heading for second. Wilson pitches it out and fires in. Lead-off double, Pete Alonso. Now here come the Mets, and the offense again. The dam broke in the 6th after countless innings of a ton of base runners and no big hit. Lindor got the grand slam, which could leapfrog this offense into something late because, of course, the Mets offense would love some insurance with 6 defensive outs needed against Philly. Here's Iglesias. Runner at second. Shows bunt. First pitch is down and in. He swings his body out of the way of that sweeper. Fans oohing and ahhing. It really wasn't that close to Iglesias. It was closer to the strike zone than it was to Iglesias, but it's ball 1. Corners in, middle infield tight to second. Pitch. Down and away goes to the backstop behind Real Muto. Alonso can walk to third. A wild pitch by Kerkering. Another wild pitch thrown by this bullpen. It's incredible. Hoffman had 2. Kerkering has 1. And now Kerkering, who's also been snake bitten by this bad playoff bullpen, is in trouble here. The entire infield comes in. 4-1 Mets. 2-0. Downstairs, ball 3. Now Kerkering in this postseason, his second ever postseason. Last year was his first major league year. He's also struggled this year. 3-0. Swing and a miss at a sinker. It looked like it was ball 4 in. Now it's kind of been the tune tonight for Jose Iglesias, who's stretched the zone more than we've ever seen this year. 4-1 Mets. Pitch. Breaking ball low and in. Ball 4. Iglesias is on with a walk. First and third. Nobody out. And here is J.D. Martinez. And there's kind of one maybe a little key to what the Mets had to start the 6th, which was down 1-0. The inning that they eventually hit the grand slam is that Carlos Mendoza stuck with J.D. Martinez as a righty against the righty new pitcher, Jeff Hoffman, instead of platooning Jesse Winker as the lefty in the DH spot against the righty. Well, it worked. Martinez had a leadoff single. Chance to drive in a run here. Pitch. Swing and a miss at a ball that landed way outside the zone, and the count 0-1. A lot of chase for the Mets tonight. Kerkering does have that nasty side-to-side sweeper. First and third, nobody out. 0-1. Way outside. This time Martinez lets it go, and it's a ball and a strike. Scoreboard update brought to you by Food Bazaar. Shop locally, global Food Bazaar Supermarket, foodbazaar.com. Right here tonight, bottom of the 7th, Mets lead the Phillies 4-1. A step off and a look, but no throw. And Antoine Richardson is turning, the first base coach for the Mets, toward Carlos Torres to say, is that a ball? Well, Carlos Torres said no. Iglesias off first, Alonso off third. Pitch. Fouled away sharply down the first base line, and it's 1-2. Matt Strahm, another one of those Phillies relievers that during the year you'd fear, but has struggled in the postseason, is getting loose in the Philly bullpen. Kerkering comes set. Pitch. Bouncing ball, foul down third, bending over a crouching Alonso, who took his lead in foul ground. It's a little chopper. Of course, the runner at third base, going to take his lead in foul territory for that exact reason. The ball hits him, it's a foul ball. If he's in fair territory that hits him, he's out. Infield in, halfway. Runners lead, 1-2. Outside sweeper, 2-2 on Martinez. Yanks and Royals scoreless, bottom 3 out in Kansas City. A series tied at a game apiece. Detroit shut out Cleveland today 3-0. Tigers have a 2-1 series lead. Kerkering set. 2-2 pitch. Outside and low. It's full. Coming up later tonight, Padres up 2-1 in that 5-game series. At about 9:08 Eastern, they'll face the Dodgers at Petco. Here it's 4-1 Mets, last of the 7th. First and third, nobody out. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss at a sweeper. Down and away. Martinez strikes out. The Mets have struck out a lot tonight. They certainly have a 4-1 lead. But they have struck out now 11 times.
That's a big run at third base.
Now Martinez, again, so good at just putting the ball in play in those moments. And even if you hit into a double play, you couldn't bring the run in because the Phillies are playing back enough where they may want to turn that double play. So Martinez is back in the dugout. Alonso still at third. Iglesias at first. And here's Marte. Marte last time up got hit by a pitch. He's actually been on 2 out of 3 times tonight. 4-1 Mets. 1 out. Bottom 7. Pitch. Swing and a miss at a big sinker at the knees at 96. 0-1. Phillies still playing about halfway. See if they can get the run at home or turn a double play on a good ground ball. Kerkering set his pitch. Breaking ball, check swing, but it hits the outside corner anyway. James Hoy, the home plate umpire, called it a strike, and it's strike 2. And Marte takes his time. And thank you to our sponsor, Veterinary Emergency Group. Go to VEG.com to find the location nearest you. Kerkering ready, 0-2. Here's the pitch. Down and out with a sinker. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Tyrone Taylor is on deck. Stott near second. Turner is near second as well. The second and shortstop. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. High fastball. Down goes Marte. So really right now the hero for the Mets is Francisco Lindor, who came up with the bases loaded and hit a grand slam. Talk about the only hits the Mets have had with men on base. It feels like the only one they've had all night.
I think one of the problems here is that if the Mets don't get this in, you've given the Phillies some hope. You've given them something even resembling momentum. They've got to get this run in.
Pitch to Tyrone Taylor. He swings and lofts a high fly ball. Lazy fly right center. Castellanos over, lines it up, makes the catch, side retired. Well, the Mets will bring a 4-1 lead into the 8th, but they just left 2 more men on base. They've left 10 for the game. 4-1 New York to lead over Philly on Odyssey Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Let's go Mets!
I'm Ashley Flowers, host of the #1 true crime podcast in the world, Crime Junkie. This Halloween season, we're getting into the spirit on Crime Junkie Radio. With hair-raising episodes of full-body chills, Crime Junkie Radio is your ultimate spooky destination for 24/7 true crime all month long. It's all on Crime Junkie Radio, your ultimate obsession. Hear it now and anytime exclusively on the SiriusXM app. Just search Crime Junkie Radio.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app. You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Scotty Scheffler is the Masters champion.
The biggest events in golf are on.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you, the one that's listening to the MLB playoffs with us. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Please take a second to hit that subscribe button. Have you not subscribed yet? You're listening to all these MLB playoff games. Look at all the people that we have here in the chat. Please take a second and hit that subscribe button to help our Toronto sports community grow so we can continue to bring more and more sports out to you, the fans. Thank you again so much for being here. We really appreciate you helping this community grow. Now let's get back to the baseball. Good luck to your team. Let's have a great time and keep it classy in the chat. Cheers, everybody.
Third, nobody out. They did not cash in. It's something they do not want to have to look back on. So the Phillies, perhaps to some extent, reinvigorated by this opportunity. Still 4-1 New York. We'll have Turner up against Peterson. Evan Peterson has faced 4 batters. Trey Turner is 0 for 3. Turner flied to right, grounded to short, struck out. So Peterson, the left-hander, with his first pitch. And it's in for a called strike, a curve, 0-1. Don't forget to stay tuned after the game for the Verizon Mets postgame show. Verizon, the network New York City relies on. 0-1 to Turner. Peterson delivers and misses upstairs with a fastball. And it's 1-1. Mets still with Vientos at third. They haven't gone to their defensive platoon yet. The 1-1 on the way, missed outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. That's because Vientos is due up third when we go to the 8th inning. So again, such as the situation was a couple of days ago in Philadelphia, they want him to get another at-bat. The 2-1, fastball in for a called strike. It's 2-2. So the fans now beginning to come to their feet. 2-2 to Trey Turner. Peterson delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with a slider. One man out. And that'll bring up Bryce Harper the way you like to face him in a situation like this. Up 3 with one out, nobody on.
And again, that like an asterisk. You never like to face it, but this is the best of the situations if you can get one.
The Power Report is sponsored by Bill Vince's Bridgewater Acura on Route 22 in Bridgewater, New Jersey, and amounts to one Lindor swing for the Mets tonight to this point. Vientos way off the line at third. The outfield straightaway. First pitch on the way. Harper hits it on the ground to the left side. Cut off by Vientos. Throws to first in time. 2 men away. Peterson's got the first 2. And that will bring up Nick Castellanos. Edwin Diaz is up in the Mets bullpen. As of the moment, I wouldn't think there would be any reason to consider anyone other than David Peterson the way things are going here. It will be an interesting conversation in the dugout if Peterson can get through this inning. Castellanos 1 for 3. The first pitch to the right-hand batter, line to left field. That's a base hit. So Castellanos picks out a curveball and has his second hit of the game and brings up Alec Bohm, a potentially dangerous hitter. He's just 1 for 12 in this series. And Jeremy Hefner is on his way to the mound. As a time buy, I'm sure, for Diaz.
Peterson, again, when he came on, he got the final out of the 6th inning with runners on base. So came in the middle of an inning in crunch time and got out of that. Then in that 7th inning, clean inning, good start, now has a lead and got a double play ball. So again, the thing with Peterson that's different in these moments as a reliever as opposed to a starter is, do you have the stomach for the late innings? Well, all year, David Peterson as a starter has dealt with traffic. He's gotten a ton of double play balls, and so he's not really scared of this moment. The only question is, it's the 8th inning of Game 4 of the NLDS. Will that feeling grow big in his mind?
Then with Diaz throwing now, if another runner gets on, then you've got a decision to make. Do you go to Diaz? It's Bohm, Real Muto behind him. And a left-hand hitter, Bryson Stott. Mets 4, Phillies 1. 2 out, top of the 8th. Castellanos at first, being held on by Alonso. David Peterson sets his first pitch, and Bohm takes high, ball 1, a fastball. Remember, Edwin Diaz, under most circumstances, you would say, well, good, just get the ball to Diaz. But he has struggled lately, and in his career, especially against the Phillies. 1-0 to Bohm. Peterson deals. Called strike, a changeup. And it's 1-1. So there's a lot that goes into this, I'm sure. And Peterson trying to make the decision that much more difficult. Vientos is deep at third, not too far off the line. The outfield around towards right against the right-hand hitting Bohm. 1-1. Peterson delivers. Swing and a line drive on the ground. Foul down the first baseline. Oh boy, to the naked eye, I wasn't so sure about that any more than I was that ball down the third baseline earlier.
I tell you what, everybody in the Phillies uniform, including Alec Bohm, who I think just got tossed. No, he's going back down to, sorry. He got to first, swiped at the bag, said something to Carlos Torres, and Torres almost dismissed him. But Bohm's going back to the bag. Bohm running out of the box had a good look at that. We haven't seen a replay yet, but that was awfully close. Man, it just bounced foul, though it started fair. Very close.
1-2 to Bohm. Peterson ready. Bohm now just settling in. Pitch clock moving. Peterson comes set. Castellanos leads from first. Alonso holding. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt, blocked by Alvarez. Castellanos does not attempt to move from first. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now Peterson rubs up a new ball. He's thrown 22 pitches to this point. Last having worked on Thursday. We'll check that Saturday. 2-2 the count to Bohm. Now the pitch. Swinging a bouncing ball over the mound out toward short. Lindor's got it. Steps on second side. Retired. For a moment you held your breath hoping that Peterson would either catch that ball or just have it go past him without a deflection. Well, it didn't deflect, and the Phillies are done in the 8th. No runs ahead. 1 left. Middle of the 8th inning. The Mets 4, the Phillies 1 on Odyssey. Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Let's go Mets!
New Jersey might be small, but there's a lot of wow packed into this little state. Cork-popping wows, time to dine wows, Pine Barren wows. Find your wow at visitnj.org. New Jersey, little state, lot of wow.
Did you know that California Cryobank, the #1 sperm bank in the U.S., has helped to create more than 75,000 families? You can help them make dreams of parenthood come true and earn up to $1,500 a month as a sperm donor. Are you 19 to 38, healthy and able to work in the U.S.? Then you could qualify to be a sperm donor. Learn more at spermbank.com. That's spermbank.com for the chance to earn up to $1,500 a month as a sperm donor.
Cheers, baseball fans. What a playoffs we have had so far. Every single game has been absolutely awesome to listen to and to hang out with all of you here in the chat. Please take a second to exit out of that chat and hit that thumbs up button and share this link out. That is the best way to get more baseball fans here in the chat. Please hit that thumbs up. We really appreciate it, and let's bring some more people in here. Send this out to the social media boards. Send it out to your friends. Let's have some fun, and let's bring more people here to the chat to cheer for your team. Good luck to whatever team it is that you're cheering for. We'll see you guys back in the chat.
Why? What have we learned from baseball? Nothing ever goes according to plan. Accidents happen when you least expect them. If you've been injured, visit the Rothenberg Law Firm at injurylawyer.com.
Matt Strom, the left-hander, takes over on the mound for the Phillies as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning in Game 4 of the National League Division Series. The Mets leading 2-1. Lead this game 4-1. They'll have Francisco Alvarez, Francisco Lindor, and Mark Vientos due up. Scoreboard update brought to you by Ready Refresh, New York's most reliable water delivery service. Giancarlo Stanton doubled in a run for the Yankees in the first inning. They are still batting. Or is that the 4th inning now? I can't read that. Anyway, the Yankees lead the Royals 1-0 in the top of the 4th inning. And so Francisco Alvarez will step in against the left-hander Matt Strom. Strom been with those Kansas City Royals and the Padres and the Red Sox. Alvarez 0 for 3. First pitch on the way is a fastball in tight, ball 1. Remember, Alvarez batted with the bases loaded and nobody out on the bottom of the 6th inning. It was 1-0 Phillies. Alvarez with the infield up, tapped to short. Turner threw home for a force play. And then came Lindor. The 1-0 taken down and in 2-0. And after Alvarez's plate appearance is finished, you will hear the roar when Francisco Lindor heads to the batter's box. 2-0 to Alvarez. Strom delivers. Swing and a bouncer foul down the third base line. 2 balls and 1 strike. Strom appeared in each of the 2 games of this series. Gave up 2 runs in a third of an inning when the Mets were scoring 5 in the 8th inning in Game 1. Gave up another run in Game 2. The 2-1 to Alvarez. Swung on and missed a cutter away. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Strom rolls the ball back into the Phillies dugout, wanting a new one. And these fans ready to let loose, but there's still a lot that's got to happen. Alvarez has now taken his time. You know, when we go to the 9th inning, I'm sure the Mets will have a different defensive platoon in there. Sure, you'll see Iglesias at third. Outfield changing with Bader in center, Taylor in right. 2-2 to Alvarez. Swung on and popped up foul. Go into the seats. Down the first baseline. And the question is, will they just give it to Diaz to start the inning? 3-2 to Alvarez. Strom delivers. Outside, ball 3.
Now Peterson's had 23 pitches. And he hasn't seen everybody. The only guy he hasn't seen is Real Muto, but Stott would follow who he's seen, and then Wilson. But we're talking about a starting pitcher here, a guy that doesn't mind seeing, of course, the lineup a few times through.
3-2 to Alvarez. Strom ready. Here's the pitch. Swing on a fly ball to left center. Easy play from Marsh moving up, and he makes the catch. 1 out. Listen to this. Francisco Lindor coming to the plate. People joining in to my goal. Francisco's got 2 of them, plus his wife. First pitch to Francisco, line left center, moving over Wilson, slides forward, and makes the catch, holding on. Nice play by Wilson. As Lindor, after the grand slam his last time up, hits one hard to left center, but it's caught by Weston Wilson, and the crowd resumes its salute of Lindor. He's certainly been the Mets MVP, whether he's the league's or not, and now Mark Vientos will be the batter. Speed Report, powered by Verizon, the network New York City relies on. Well, Vientos might not have foot speed, but he has quickly become rather prominent in this postseason nationally. 2 more hits today, 2 for 3. Right-hand batter, first pitch. Taken outside, a slider, 1-0.
The last time these two saw each other, Vientos and Strom, 9th inning, Vientos took him deep to left center field of the bank.
1-0 the count. Strom delivers. Swing on a high fly ball to center field. Easy for Brandon Marsh. Now back a couple more steps. Makes the one-hand catch. Side retired. The Mets go in order at the end of 8. The Mets 4, the Phillies 1 on Odyssey Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Let's go, Mets!
Want to say when it happens in the NFL,
Robert Saleh has been fired as head coach of the Jets.
We're reacting to it on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
What? Wow.
Talking about the biggest stories all day.
Chicago, as of now, is in the race. I like where they are, but look at that division.
From the field to the front office, nobody covers the game.
Jonathan Gannon has got to feel really good about where the trajectory of this Arizona Cardinals team is headed.
Like Sirius XM NFL Radio, Channel 88.
If you want to make a lot of money trading stock options but haven't found the right system, listen up. Todd Rimpey here from Wealth Builders Institute, and if you call me right now, I will send you a short video that not only proves my method works, it'll show you that you can do this too, even with no trading experience. This is the method that turned a handful of my students into millionaires, and 70% of them never traded before, but they all started by calling me on the phone. I've used my TSL method for 25 years to make a full-time income, enjoying lifestyle freedom. So if other trading systems let you down, it's probably because they are just too complicated. My method is simple, and it works so well because we ride the coattails of big money on Wall Street. And when my rules line up, 75% of the time, the price changes direction, allowing us to profit. So call my office now at 800-881-5252 and tell them you want a copy of my video sent to you today. No credit card required. Call 800-881-5252. 800-881-5252. That's 800-881-5252.
Mets fans, this is Carlos Mendoza, and you're listening to Mets Baseball on Sirius XM.
Sirius XM NFL.
What a division series we have had so far, and it continues on. Please take a second to check that link that is pinned in the chat. Go check out our campaign page. We're running a campaign for Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto as part of their Create 100K donation drive. We have opened it up for the MLB playoffs and NHL opening night. Thank you so much for clicking that link. A portion of our proceeds goes donated every single month to Sick Kids Hospital. So just by being here, you're making a difference in our community. Please take a second. If you see an ad that catches your interest, please click it.
Hader is the new center fielder, and Tyrone Taylor moves to right. That's trying to close it out. And Diaz hoping to simply be Diaz at his best. It's a save opportunity presented by LifeVac, the original choking rescue suction device that saves lives. The save of the game and lives too. Edwin Diaz, who was in Game 2 of this series. Struck out Kyle Schwarber, remember, to get out of the 7th inning. At that point, the Mets had a 4-3 lead. Then the Phillies out to him. 3 runs against him. And here's Real Muto. First pitch, slider outside, ball 1. He has really had trouble getting that slider to behave the way it did a couple of years ago. The velocity's been 97, 98, the 1-0. Fastball inside, ball 2. And one thing that you worry about with Diaz right now is walks, too. He is immediately behind 2-0. Real Muto 0 for 2 of the walk, and the pitch back, a fastball inside, ball 3. David Peterson went 2 1/3. Gave up 2 hits, no runs. And this will be a 3-0 to Real Muto. It's down the middle for a called strike, 3-1. Real Muto, Stott, and Wilson due up here in the top of the 9th inning. Diaz trying to save the game. The Phillies trying to save their season. The 3-1 pitch, way outside, ball 4. Went to the slider and missed. And immediately the Phillies get a base runner. They need just one more to bring the tying man to the plate.
You know, I certainly understand going to Diaz here for Carlos Mendoza, as he said all year. If we want to get to the place that we dream of, Diaz has to be the guy that has to be right to get him there. So you go to your guy here in the clincher, try to build him up, try to get him the last 3 outs, and simply just put away the Philadelphia Phillies. And a leadoff walk is some stomachs turning here at Citi Field.
Bryson Stott, left-hand hitter, steps in. Diaz comes set. His first pitch, outside and low, ball 1. And the problem now is, what's your best option behind Diaz? I mean, Peterson's out of the game. Stanek went over an inning yesterday. They're already getting somebody up. You knew they wouldn't wait long. The 1-0 on the way, in tied, a fastball, ball 2.
So this I don't get. Why have somebody up if you knew you're going to go with your guy? That's usually not a great look for a closer to feel they're already getting somebody up behind me. That doesn't help if you're pitching.
Here's the 2-0 pitch, way outside and high, ball 3. I mean, we've seen this too often this year. Right now, you look at what Diaz has done. He has thrown 7 out of 8 pitches out of the strike zone. He has imploded before at times like this. The Mets cannot afford an implosion here. Can Diaz recover? 3-0 to the left-hand hitting Stott. The pitch. It's in for a called strike. A fastball at 99. It's not about the velocity, it's about locating. The outfield straight away. Iglesias at third is even with a bag. Now Diaz sets at the waist. 3-1 pitch. Outside, ball 4. He's walked 2 in a row. And Jeremy Hefner makes an emergency trip to the mound. And now the Phillies are feeling it. Now they've got their invitation. You're getting down to the bottom of the order. Weston Wilson is due up. I believe it's Cody Clemens is going to hit for him. Brandon Marsh is a left-hand hitter behind him. And then you go to Schwarber and Turner. And the beauty of the 8th inning from Peterson is that he basically worked through what you would consider toughest outs, the power of the Phillies batting order. But now Diaz has walked back-to-back hitters. And the cuticles are being ground down to the nubs here at Citi Field.
Yeah, you go with Peterson and bring him out for the 9th. You feel his momentum, and that's something that Carlos Mendoza has done all year, right? Go with a guy who's pitching well and go with your gut. Why change the momentum? But maybe he thought, well, I don't want Diaz to come in if Peterson faces a few batters and gets into trouble. Put Diaz in the middle of trouble, just have him start the 9th. Well, Diaz has started the 9th, and he's put himself in a lot of trouble.
And right away, the tying run at the plate, and Cody Clemens. Clemens does have a little bit of pop. Although he hit .219 during the regular season, he did have 5 home runs.
By the way, the one guy that feels the air sucked out of this building more than anybody is Edwin Diaz. He personally has to be the guy to put the energy back into this place as the closer.
So he's getting ready to face Clemens. First pitch, off the inside corner, ball 1. Well, to say it's gotten sticky would not even begin to describe it. The 1-0 pitch, that's a called strike, 1-1. At this point, the thriving player of the game is Francisco Lindor, brought to you by Thrivewell Infusion, New York's premier infusion and injection center. Saving lives drip by drip is at ThrivewellInfusion.com. 1-1 to Clemens. He's batting for Wilson. The pitch, way inside, a slider, he almost hit him in the leg, 2-1. I honestly don't know if Clemens gets on, if Diaz would get another batter here.
I wouldn't. Not the way he's throwing. 13 pitches, 10 out of the zone, just 3 strikes.
2-1 the count. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss at a fastball, 2-2. And at times his fastball can be unhittable. He's thrown 3 of them among the 4 pitches to Cody Clemens. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He threw the fastball by him. And that's something maybe Diaz just hasn't done frequently enough. 1 man away, meaning throw that fastball by hitters. Too often he's gotten behind because he's used his sliders so much.
And as hitters say, I'm only 1 swing away, right, from getting my swing back. Well, for a pitcher, for Diaz, he blows a fastball by, gets a swing and miss. That could be a turning point for his confidence.
Brandon Marsh, who has power, left-hand hitter, takes a fastball on the outside corner. Strike 1 called. And remember, Kyle Schwarber is on deck. He of the immensely powerful Schwarbers. The 0-1 to Marsh, way outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Ryan Stanek is warming up in that Mets bullpen. It's Stanek that got up.
1-1 to Marsh, the outfield straight away. The infield set back. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. The fastball again, it was down. And it's 1-2 to Marsh. Well, the crowd continues to wave the towels. Bryce Harper with a bat in the dugout, still several hitters away. Mets don't want to see him. 1-2 pitch, swinging a high fly ball to center field. Backing up his Bader, he's got plenty of room. He makes the 2-hand catch, 2 men away. Tagging at second, going to third, Real Muto. Mets don't care about that. He slides headfirst into third, even though the throw goes to second. So now 2 away, and here's some drama. Kyle Schwarber will be the batter against Edwin Diaz.
Now you remember the last time these 2 guys saw each other, Schwarber struck out in a huge moment in that 7th inning, and Schwarber lifetime 0 for 8, 7 strikeouts against Diaz.
So, Edwin Diaz has come back to get 2 outs after walking the first 2. The crowd nervously on its feet. Alvarez out in front of the plate, flashing some defensive signs. In no hurry to get back in position. Got the mask up on top of his head. Now he pulls it down, and Diaz is ready to go. Schwarber can turn the heat around. But you heard the numbers. The first pitch, runner goes from first. Fastball over a called strike, 0-1. Actually a slider. Going down to second on defensive indifference is Bryson Stott. So that takes the force off. 0-1 to Schwarber. Now the pitch. Outside with a slider. 1-1. Trey Turner is on deck. The Phillies draped over the railing of their dugout, as are the Mets theirs. Diaz snaps a new throwback from Alvarez. And Schwarber settles in. Iglesias off the line at third. Lindor over towards the second base bag and deep. 1-1 to Schwarber. Diaz deals. Swing and a drive foul. Got out in front of it. Shot it deep into the upper deck in right field. You don't see many foul balls hit up there. But now Diaz ahead 1-2. The towels are waving. The hearts are pounding. And Diaz, who generally doesn't take much time, uses a little of it after Schwarber took his. Diaz on the first base side of the rubber. Rests the glove on his left thigh. Looks into Alvarez. Diaz still staring in. Comes set. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Put it in the books. And to the New York Mets, California, here we come. They have defeated the Philadelphia Phillies 4-1. They take the National League Division Series in 4 games for the first time ever in their 16th year at Citi Field. The Mets are celebrating a series win. They are out first at the mound, then the rest of them out at second base. Why are they out at second base? Because they're pouncing on Francisco Lindor, whose grand slam gave the Mets the 4 runs that turned this game around in the 6th inning. And full marks to Edwin Diaz, who rallied. It looked like he was a batter away from coming out of the game after he walked the first 2 batters in the 9th inning. And the New York Mets are going to the National League Championship Series. They will face either the San Diego Padres or the Los Angeles Dodgers beginning on Sunday night. Congratulations to Carlos Mendoza, the first-year manager, and the New York Mets, as they have eliminated the Phillies. And now the hugs continue on the field. Of course, the celebration in the clubhouse will be a wild and wet one, as they've never had one of those before in the home clubhouse at Citi Field. Just saw a couple of tears. Was that on Brandon Nimmo? I couldn't see whose face it was, but it really doesn't matter. Francisco Lindor continues to write his name in Mets lore. And I guess, Keith, this game and so much of this season has been Francisco Lindor's, and he put his stamp on this one again.
I'll tell you what, so many times in this game it's been very indicative of the Mets season. We keep saying that because we keep seeing the examples of that. Chances early didn't come through. Mets get down in the 4th inning, 1-0, and little by little, though it seems the outs are churning away, they come up with the big hit to put them in front. But as we found out about this story, which is unfinished, this is only the NLDS. Edwin Diaz there in the 9th inning had some fans squirming in their seats thinking, is this real? Is this going to happen? Will they win the game? And they do. And that feeling of euphoria is so earned that these players are getting emotional. And now as Lindor turns toward the crowd over the first base dugout, clapping his hands, saluting the crowd that wraps their arms around him here, and why not? He's been the heart and soul of this team. The Mets had celebrations in Atlanta. They had celebrations in Milwaukee. And finally, they can celebrate in front of Queens.
The chant of MVP. Pat McCarthy is downstairs. He's going to have someone momentarily. You can understand it is literal mayhem on the field right now, with everybody trying to get organized, meaning those who will perform interviews and those who will be their subjects. And I would imagine at some point that Pat would get a chance to chat with Francisco. But in the meantime, think of how unusual it was. Yeah, Diaz and Alvarez embraced after the strikeout of Kyle Schwarber. And after that, everybody was celebrating at second base, because that's where Francisco Lindor was. Let's go downstairs, because Pat McCarthy has Mets starting pitcher who also pitched a beautiful game, and that gets lost in the shuffle too, Jose Quintana. Pat?
All right, Howie, thank you very much. Jose, congratulations.
Thank you.
Head into the National League Championship Series. How's this feeling right now?
Oh my God, that's a lot of emotions. I'm so excited. What's this, be here and be part of this can be better. So excited for this.
I know it was brief, but you started with this organization, and now to pitch this team to the National League Championship Series, is it a full circle moment for you?
Yeah, big time. Means a lot for me and my family. We talk about this early, like the cycle. We believe in this, we start with the Mex, and, for a lot of years we come back here for this. That means a lot for us and my family. I'm so excited to keep going, be a part of this group. That's a great energy, so, I don't have words to explain, but that means a lot.
You were able to navigate a really impressive Phillies lineup today, and frankly, you guys kept them in check for this entire series. As a staff collectively, what were you guys able to do to make sure that you held them to basically one run pretty much every night?
Yeah, we, as a starter, we always take care of our playing. Like we follow our playing. We always trust in our playing, and we keep going. Like we trust in our staff and throw all the pitches, the spots we want to go. I think was the key, and everybody do amazing, great job, and that's a really good celebration. So that means that's so crazy for us.
Jose, congratulations. Go enjoy it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Howie, back to you.
All right, Pat. I'm sure we'll be checking in with Pat very soon as the celebration continues on the field. And Keith, I guess I asked this rhetorically. I'm sure people will be asking us over the next couple of days, but how many biggest home runs in franchise history can you deliver as a team in 1 week?
Now, I keep looking at the graphic that they just put up on the center field video board and in right field. NLCS bound. We're sitting in the same seats we were in May when this team was 11 games under, losing in ways that we could not fathom, and watching players like Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso and Brandon Nimmo and Edwin Diaz struggle and scuffle and think, how is this possible? Well, we've seen them go from the bottom to the absolute top, where every single night we're thinking, how can they keep doing this? They keep one-upping themselves for these major monster moments. And, as that sixth inning was unfolding, the third or fourth time the Mets had, guys on base, they ended up with another bases-loaded situation, and Lindor coming up down one. You thought something's going to happen here, right? A little ground ball or a sac fly to tie the game. Well, I keep forgetting what year it is. It's 2024. The magic has filled this place. Lindor hits a grand slam off of a guy he's never had a hit off of, and Carlos Estevez. And it's one thing you have to do with this team is start suspending your disbelief, because it's hard to just see this every single day. We wondered, how do they keep losing like this in May? How do they keep winning like this in October?
Well, there was quite a bit of reset, to be sure, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, because right now Pat's downstairs with Pete Alonso.
Yeah, I sure am, Howie. Pete, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Wow, what a night.
Once again, Francisco Lindor steps up. I mean, what was the reaction in the club, in the dugout, when that ball left the yard?
Pandemonium, just absolute pandemonium.
You and I spoke pregame today about how you were going to take the emotions in over the last couple of days, and now to have an opportunity to clinch in front of this crowd. I mean, you guys have clinched on the road. I would imagine this one feels a little bit different.
I mean, these people have been waiting for it such a long time, but wow, what a moment. What a moment for Francisco, what a moment for the fans, what a moment for the 2024 Metros.
It's amazing that early in this game you guys had the opportunities there and you just couldn't cash in, but there just never seems to be a doubt that this team is going to come through. I mean, the resolve of this squad right now, does it feel like it's just inevitable that this team's going to figure out a way to come through?
We always find a way. I mean, this is such a resilient bunch. I've said it so much, but man, how special is this? This is, wow, this is a dream come true.
Take it all in, Pete. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Howie, back to you.
All right, Pat, thank you. And Keith, remember a little while ago I said, I know somebody's crying out there. I just couldn't make out who it was. I could see some tears rolling down cheeks, but I couldn't. I thought it was Nimmo, but wasn't sure. Well, Brandon Nimmo was just standing, looking at the crowd, soaking it all in. His image was shown on the big video board here, and you could see him very clearly mouthing, "Oh my God, oh my God." Tears in his eyes. Still mourning the death of his grandmother just last week. Remember, the Mets lost 2 members of their family within the last week. Sean Manaya's aunt, as it was revealed after the game by Sean yesterday. And Brandon Nimmo's grandmother, we found out about that last Thursday, the day the Mets eliminated the Milwaukee Brewers, and now they're gathering in front of the mound for the picture. And, you know, the one other thing I just wanted to make sure I mentioned, because it's important, too, that, you know, it wasn't just that the Mets sort of left Diaz and Alvarez on their own near home plate and ran out to Lindor at second base. You know the history with Edwin Diaz in the World Baseball Classic last year and the celebration, and I think they were content to let Edwin just peel back a little bit, make sure there was no unnecessary pounding, jumping around, and they left that to each other, with Francisco Lindor being in the middle of it all, and hasn't he been? The Mets have beaten the Phillies 4-1. They take the series in 4. They have advanced to the National League Championship Series against either the Padres or the Dodgers, and I guess the Mets wouldn't mind seeing those teams beat each other's brains out for 2 more games, because now the Mets have a chance to get a few days off here. We'll talk more about that right after this on Odyssey Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
Once your day starts, it doesn't stop. You go and go and go some more. Routines like yours demand reliable tires. Tires that keep up with you. Day after day, mile after mile, season after season. That's why Uniroyal Tires makes the tried and true Uniroyal Tiger Paw Touring All-Season tire. A good tire with great value so you can have total confidence every time you drive. The Uniroyal Tiger Paw Touring All-Season tire. Learn more about Uniroyal Tires at Whitey's Tire Service on Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn, or go to uniroyaltires.com.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you, the one that's listening to the MLB playoffs with us. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Please take a second to hit that subscribe button. Have you not subscribed yet? You're listening to all these MLB playoff games. Look at all the people that we have here in the chat. Please take a second and hit that subscribe button to help our Toronto sports community grow so we can continue to bring more and more sports out to you, the fans. Thank you again so much for being here. We really appreciate you helping this community grow. Now let's get back to the baseball. Good luck to your team. Let's have a great time and keep it classy in the chat. Cheers, everybody.
Text HOPE and Y.
Well, back here at Citi Field, the New York Mets have advanced to the National League Championship Series. We don't know against whom yet, either the Padres or the Dodgers. They'll decide that by themselves. Right now, the Mets have taken care of their own business, and we do have a postgame show coming up. We'll have a lot more from the Mets clubhouse on the Verizon Mets postgame show. Verizon, the network New York City relies on. So, I don't know, Keith. I get to the point sometimes where they pay us to speak for a living, and sometimes you're just speechless. When you watch the way this team has advanced, just forget about everything else. Forget about the last 4 months. You look at the postseason. You know, the postseason started, was it Tuesday?
Yes.
In Milwaukee?
Feels like a million years ago, last Tuesday in Milwaukee.
8 days ago. They've been through history, Mets history, in the last 8 days. I'm going to say this again. The 1969 Mets, the world champions, the first champions in this franchise's history, one of the most beloved teams in the history not only of this city, but really in the nation. They've lost 4 of their players this past calendar year. Buddy Harrelson, Jerry Grody, Jim McAndrew, and most recently Eddie Kranepool. I think those guys have gotten together to watch these games from above and perhaps use a little influence to help the Mets accomplish what they have, because this has been something else.
1969, 1986, and fill in the blank what the next team may be, and that's why you kind of want to remember where you were. And I think a lot of us, it's the NLDS moving on to the NLCS. Again, there's so much story to write, but I mean, like Carlos Mendoza said, and it was a little bit stunning to hear in the press conference, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, Pete Alonso doesn't connect on that ball in Milwaukee. None of the rest of the story gets told at all, and Milwaukee turns into this series in Philadelphia, and what we saw in Game 1 of this series, where the Mets, once again, like they were today, down early, getting shut down against Zach Wheeler, came all the way back. Game 2, where they just would never quit. Yesterday, coming home for the first time ever and putting on a show for these fans. And then after they gave them an easy one last night, right? That was the easiest. I got a text last night. That was the easiest Mets playoff game we've had so far. Mets won 7-2. And then today, they make it dramatic. They make it emotional. And I just can't wait to see how the rest of this story gets told. But this is, the book would be good if it ended right here. But the good thing for the Mets is that it is not done yet. But what a story it's been.
Hopefully for the Mets, there are 8 more chapters as the Mets have closed out the Philadelphia Phillies.
So the Mets win this series 3-1, and they will head to what is a 7-game National League Championship Series. And as Howie said, it'll be either against the Dodgers or the Padres, who are just getting underway at about 20 minutes from San Diego in a Game 4 where the Padres lead 2-1. So again, the Mets could know, hey, we're playing the Padres in the NLCS, or the Padres win tonight. If the Dodgers win, that'll force a Game 5 on Friday in Los Angeles. So opponent to be determined, but we'll be playing a little Joni Mitchell, California, over the next 24 to 48 hours nonetheless. Take a look at the totals for you in this one tonight. For the Mets, 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. They left 9. For the Phillies, 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. They left 10. And, of course, the story that this game was 2 bases-loaded chances early, one in the first inning, one in the second inning. Mets end up going just 3 for 15 with runners in scoring position, but the one of the 3 was the Francisco Lindor grand slam to get the Mets the lead and then eventually the win. So that was the only home run of the game as well. Francisco Lindor's first of this postseason. David Peterson is the winning pitcher. Jeff Hoffman suffers the loss. Edwin Diaz earns the save for the Mets, though it was, of course, a little dicey there in that 9th inning. Time of the ball game, 3 hours and 15 unforgettable minutes in front of 44,103. Where once again, the final score, the Mets win the series 3-1, finishing it off, beating the Phillies 4-1.
New York Mets baseball is a production of Odyssey in conjunction with the New York Mets. The executive producer is Ray Martell. Production assistance by Captain Jack McCarthy and Dan Silverman. And our producer-engineer in the booth is the immortal Chris Majkowski. Our next broadcast will be on Sunday from Southern California, either in San Diego or Los Angeles. As they say, check your local listings. For Keith Radd and Pat McCarthy, I'm Howie Rose. Thanks for joining us. Once again, the final score tonight, the New York Mets 4, the Philadelphia Phillies 1, as the Mets take the National League Division Series in 4 games. Stay tuned. Pat's coming up next with the Verizon Mets postgame show from their victorious clubhouse. Right after this, this is Odyssey Mets Radio, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
New York Mets baseball has been brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Contact one for a great deal today. And by Bigelow Tea. Grab a mug and tea proudly. The Rothenberg Law Firm. InjuryLawyer.com. Casamigos Tequila. Brought to you by those who drink it. Thrivewell Infusion. The official IV sponsor of Odyssey Mets Radio. Visit ThrivewellInfusion.com. Bridgewater Acura. On Route 22 in Bridgewater, New Jersey. Peerless Boilers and Pavilion Tankless Water Heaters. Visit peerlessboilers.com to find a dealer near you. LifeVac, the original choking rescue suction device that saves lives. The New York Lottery. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. And by Berkeley College. Your potential is our promise.
Nobody gets you ready for the NBA season like Sirius XM NBA Radio.
Already you can tell that's going to be a fun team to watch.
This is someone who is ready for the bright lights.
Our experts are weighing in on the playoff hopes of your favorite team.
Defensively, they have 0 weaknesses.
Hear conversations with the biggest stars in the game.
Talking to the one and only Steph Curry. Talk with Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics.
Anthony Edwards.
I want to compete at the highest level.
We're previewing the season all this week on NBA Radio, Channel 86 in the car, and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
That was an all-time classic.
Adam Shine brings his unique perspective and passionate sports talk to Mad Dog Sports Radio.
That game led the league in holy cow wow moments.
The biggest and hottest names across Major League Baseball.
Star shortstop for the Kansas City Royals, Bobby Witt Jr.
It's great to kind of build the new culture here in Kansas City.
Shine on Sports, weekdays 9 Eastern. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM 82 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Sirius XM has everything a college football fan needs.
He's in trouble and down he goes. The ball comes out.
All the big games are on the Sirius XM app.
Down the sidelines, midfield. It's a race. Picking them up, putting them down.
Plus, hear daily in-depth analysis on College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
There's not a lot of holes or weaknesses on that football team, and they've got the goods where you want to have the goods for a championship caliber roster.
Our experts get you ready for game day every day on Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
The new basketball season is around the corner, and SiriusXM NBA Radio is getting you ready by talking to the biggest stars in the game.
Joined now by Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I want to be able to have a shot at winning it all.
Every weeknight until the season starts, hear a different team's preview show.
We've got Kevin Durant sitting down with us.
Championship is always the goal.
NBA Radio's season preview shows, only on NBA Radio, Channel 86. And for any interviews or previews you missed, hear them on the SiriusXM app.
It's Mad Dog Unleashed with Christopher Mad Dog Russo.
Good afternoon, everybody!
Hear the passion.
Be aggressive. Get something done.
Hear the knowledge.
The game, folks, is about two plays. And that's what it comes down to.
Hear the personality.
I'm going to start here in an angry mood. Get somebody on the radio!
That has made him a sports talk legend.
Does that make any sense to you? Guys, you're crazy.
It's Mad Dog Unleashed with Christopher Russo. Weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
Mets fans, after this game, get back to what's really important, your fantasy football team. We're talking about it right now on Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
This is the Verizon Mets postgame show. Save big when you switch to the network New York City relies on. Head to your local Verizon store and check out the latest deals. Also brought to you by Flagstar Bank NA. Visit them at flagstar.com. Smashburger, 100% certified Angus beef burgers, fries, shakes, and more. The College of New Jersey, the #1 public college from Maine to Maryland. ELEC 825, building our future. The Ray Katina family of dealerships. Visit them at raykatina.com. Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. Stay where you play. And by Orlin & Cohen Orthopedic Group. We've got specialists for that. Now, here's Pat McCarthy.
Well, the Mets are NLCS bound, and Pat McCarthy is Mets clubhouse bound. We welcome you into the Verizon Mets postgame show here at Citi Field. It'll be a champagne-soaked postgame show for a Mets team that is down there in the clubhouse celebrating a trip to the NLCS. If you want to look at it a different way, they're going to be in the Final Four here, with, of course, the rest of the teams to be determined in the NLCS, whether the Mets will see the Padres or the Dodgers. And, of course, the American League is a long way to go to figure out who's going to the ALCS. Keith Rad back here with you at Citi Field. The Mets have defeated the Phillies in this best-of-5, 3-1, winning 4-1 here in the final game of this, what turned out to be the final game of this series. Now, it's, of course, a series that Philadelphia, coming into this game, it was elimination day for them. They had their lives on the line, as you can tell with some of the post-game comments from Nick Castellanos and the Phillies last night, knowing that they were walking into this game do or die. The Mets had, if you could call it, just a little opening, little daylight of happiness and looseness, playing with a potential clincher, and they do end up winning this one tonight. So we're going to go down to Pat McCarthy, who's in that clubhouse here at Citi Field.
Hey, Keith, yeah, it is an absolute party down here right now. I mean, these guys are absolutely celebrating. And it's a much busier clubhouse right now as well, due to the fact that, we're actually at home here at Citi Field. So the entire front office staff is down here right now. The music's blaring, the champagne is flying, the beers are flying as well. Yeah, this is a team that was ready to celebrate tonight. And so far, I mean, it's been quite the celebration down here.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. It sounds like it, and that's a room that has never had a celebration like this. Hannah, let me ask you, is the plastic covering some of those beautiful couches and the blue rug down there? Because I know when they made renovations a couple of years ago, they decked that place out. Maybe Pat is swimming through a vat of suds. That's how I imagine right now doing this on radio, this clubhouse report for the Mets, who are down in the clubhouse. Carlos Mendoza was able